So I guess now it is time to begin the stream. As is every week, getting things set up will just be a moment, and opening up my tab, getting over some links to send out if anybody who wants to come hang out and join the stream. But other than that, how's everyone doing this week? What's going on with you guys today? I think there was a lot of big stuff to occur this week for manga, and there were so many fun turns, so many good reveals, and just all around, I think, really good progress for just a lot of stories going on. We'll go over, everything that I'm referring to in a moment. Anything that you want to ask, go on ahead. I'm just gonna send out some links, and then, then we can get everything going as I said. I don't know why I'm saying as so much, but... One moment, please. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what to substitute in for as, because I realized that I just kept fucking saying it. So I was trying to diverge into a different term to use. Didn't work, but whatever. Anyway, just tell me what's going on in your mind this week. What do you got that you want to maybe see if what my opinion is, or if I saw something, or maybe if it slipped your mind, what it could be. So, just a second, I'm going to post it on Twitter, and then we can get started. There we go. Anyway, so let me read some of the comments, see what's going on. Yeah, Fire Force came out. I really like the first episode for that, because it felt kind of like this, like an established kind of series already. It wouldn't surprise you if there were multiple episodes before it, but it's for the main character, because he's like a new guy, and so it really just kind of felt like he was being a new addition. It wasn't like a big focus on his character. It was more of being a rookie in this squad, which I can get, especially when you have I guess not military, I guess firefighting would be kind of close. Something like a firefighter or police officer, when you're the new guy, you're just kind of going to be in that, super out of water kind of, situation, because everyone's going to be in such sync, and you're just going to be a new cog in the machine, trying to figure out, where you fit and how you fit and stuff like that. But anyway, what's up with the Twilight? What's up, Spider? Oz, I hadn't seen anything about going on with Hentai Heaven and Faku. I don't follow a lot of any news around them, but... what happened? What's the story around that? What's up, JK Network? Yeah, how's it going? Jared Punch, how's it going? What do you think of the new fairy tale opening? I really like it. So there's a lot of really nice symbolism in there as well. The music is good. I think I like the music layer of 25 more, but I really like this one too. But this one has a lot of really nice moments within the opening itself, like the scene where it shows the space between time. And then it's in the reflection of Zeref's eye as he's tearfully looking at Mavis. And this is what he kind of saw her near the end of, knowing what he had to do to achieve his goal, what sacrificing Mavis was going to lead to. I thought that was just really interesting. And then part where he got the form, the white form, but he was slightly his normal dark aura, and then it kind of shifted over to this white, all the dark crumbled away, kind of how Zeref was thinking about how what he was doing could erase all the hardships that he's caused, his own sins. I just thought that was a really interesting little hint within the opening, just to add that extra piece, because there's always stuff that is in there that's a spoiler to something that's going to happen in that section that the volume or the opening covers. But there's always stuff that they just add in there just to look cool, or be a symbolism moment, and I think that those were both really good moments for that too. So there's going to be some more stuff. There's some speculation that we're still going to be getting Acnologia's backstory within this remainder of the anime. I'm hoping so. It makes sense. We have 13 episodes left, and they've been roughly doing 3 chapters per episode, and there's only I think the last one was 523 was the last chapter they did. So the next one is going to be, so what is that? Fucking 23 more chapters for 13 episodes. And even if they slowed it down to two chapters an episode, they're going to have a little bit left of room. They're going to have something to add into it. And a lot of people have been hoping for Acnologia's backstory, because that was mysteriously cut from the manga. No one knows why. I still have my own theories, but That's for a different video. I need to make the video on that of just going over, what I mean by that, because that's one of those things I refer to a lot because it's a theory I have of what happened near the end of Fairy Tail, just because like the pacing picked up and everything, and there were a lot of stuff that like Hiroshima wanted to put in there got cut out, which is like, why would the author of a still very successful series, be cutting stuff out on the like what would be the end of the series, and then leading up to a continuation that's literally just like a immediate after continuation, but under a whole new different name, and still under the same publisher, but not in the same magazine, which is very interesting. I gotta make a video on that sometime, unless you guys just want to hear what my full theory is, in the stream. If you guys want to hear what I mean by that and my long theory, then just go ahead and ask. Anyway, you checked out the latest Fairy Tail episode. August used more spells than anime. I figured that his is going to be a thing that we could get a lot of extra. Like Eileen. Oh my god, I always get them mixed up because they're so similar of what is the cat. I think it's Eileen, but her not getting really relatively any new spells was fine. But August, I figured he would, because his emphasis was on the level of volume of magic that he knows. But we didn't get to see a lot of that. We saw him kind of like using some stuff, and then like that he had prior, and then stuff that he was learning in real time because of his ability to instantly learn a magic, make himself immune to it. That it was just weird that we just didn't get to see a lot of like throwaway stuff. Like we got 2 in this one was literally just okay, cool. He could detonate areas in explosion. And then Sync was pretty cool. That was actually a pretty good addition. Where he could pretty much like meld somebody into the ground, which is pretty powerful. But I'm hoping that we get more spells from him. Him and Zeref, I'm hoping we get a couple more spells. And one of those reasons is, even though we know Zeref, had a lot of different magics, and we know that he got dwindled down when he fought Natsu because of the fact that Natsu, he made him to counter a lot of his abilities. But randomly at the end, Zeref just like had a technique name. What was his? Oh my god! It was like Dark Abyss Explosion Blade or something. Oh my god! I have to go look that up now, because if I don't, that's gonna bother me the entire stream. 1 second. And it was like it had a pretty cool name, and then like it was weird that he just used it at the very end. That he was just at the very end, like literally his last attack was gonna have a name. And there's like stuff that speculated, like there are obviously spells that have like specific names, but a technique is always different than like raw specific spells, like comparison to like Genesis that he used, not Genesis, Nemesis. You can turn stuff like in real time into demons. What was his? It was Dark Abyss Exploding Blade. That's a really cool attack name, and it's just very strange for him to get a technique right in the last moment. So I'm hoping he gets like more stuff. August, I feel like we're definitely gonna get to see a lot of like quick spells thrown at us that maybe I'm going to expand down this large branch. So literally just elements and weird spells, just one after another, and just keep, adding to his arsenal, which I think was a really cool addition that doesn't need to alter really anything in the fight of its results or the end piece of that entire battle. Though I'm hoping they alter it a bit in reality. But it's just the amount of easy additions that they could have with just throwing small spells at August. I've not watched the first episode of Dr. Stone. Like Alphamon versus Super Tengen Topper and Logon. I'm pretty sure Alphamon is stronger. Datbot's the Spider side. What's up, Spider? How's it going? Oh, the new Fairy Tail opening, but the animation could have been better, but it's probably for the best. There were some good animation moments in this episode, actually. I liked some of the fast-paced battles that, we saw with August and Guildarts, in the first moments. I thought that was good. It still looks like there's some good animation moments in the future. I wish they got some more of those like parts where they would hone make the art style look a lot better while they're doing the buffed animation, kind of like selectively making a scene better. But it still looks fluid and fun, so at least there's that. You get some good gifts out of it. And, watch fights again when they're finally over. And on YouTube. But for the most part, I was happy with the last episode. I thought it was good. There's some important moments coming up. I'm hoping that they don't fuck up and they continue to get it going. It's like the next episode, I think it's one of Natsu's biggest out in the open growth moments. There's a lot of stuff, if you watch my video going on his character, there's a lot of like development moments that a lot of people probably don't notice because I think it's a lot more of like subtle like ways that he handles situations and like his thought process and whatnot. You know, his problem solving, but like just because of the moment, like it's very. There's already a moment within it in the manga because it was when Gray you tried to use Ice Shell and sacrifice himself back in Galuna Island versus now, and how wildly different Natsu reacts to it. And where like the sentence he says comes from, you know, earlier in this arc, something he also learned, just kind of adds to an extra layer on it. So I'm hoping they don't mess that up because I think that's a really good scene in the next episode. So looking for that, and then Natsu versus Zeref is going to start, so that's going to be pretty sick. Fairy Tail got a new opening. Yeah, I saw. I really liked it. I think it was pretty good. When are you going to do a video analysis on Acnologia? I'm going to wait until after after the anime, because of the fact that it's still believed, Hiroshima hinted at it, that, you know, they're going to put his backstory in the anime, and I want to wait towards that, because it'll be two different stories, because right now I can talk about Acnologia, and where I thought he was good in a concept, but still kind of hurt in the fact that, like, what he could have been, but also at the same time of, you know, what he was still able to accomplish. But then they added like the bit of backstory in him within Dragon Cry, and then, you know, towards the end of the manga, it makes it so we know that there's something going to be going in there. So I'm waiting until that happens so I can, you know, gauge the character off him from that. It'll probably be, I can see it being less than Natsu length, but the Natsu video, I wish I did like the Zeref analysis videos where it was split up into parts, so it wasn't one long video. Acnologia I'll probably do, I'd say 2 to maybe 3 videos on it, probably around 10 minutes each. I'm hoping. I still try and condense it, and I feel like 10 minutes is when it starts to get long. Probably around like, I'd say like 10 to 12 is hoped for, probably no longer than 15. And then go over that when that happens, because I do like Acnologia. I still have positive things to say about him. There are some things, obviously, like we didn't get his backstory. There are some holes in his story as a character that we currently have, but could easily be fixed in the upcoming anime that will obviously very much drastically affect, you know, a video literally going over his character, like, in existence, and, like, how he, like, affects the story and whatnot. There's a lot to wait on that because of the level of stakes coming up in the parts of the anime, which is just an interesting kind of, like, idea. Oh god, hang on, I am far behind. Fuck. Okay, here we go. I found where my spot is. Gyome coming to save Takedo from Kushido, also Sun versus... Oh, and Kimetsu no Yaiba. I thought that was cool, because I never thought about that, because the dude is from the, you know, he's from the first breath, the breath of the sun, and then, like, okay, he turned into a demon, so he switched over, opposite of the sun is the moon, and, you know, a lot of the ways that people look at him, and I just thought that was a really cool alteration. Plus, it's gonna make... So the anime for Kimetsu no Yaiba, like, it looks so beautiful, especially when they do the weapon effects. Imagine what his is going to look like, you know, a moon blade. It's going to look super sick to see it probably, like, have all these, like, randomly sick, like, crescent moon panels, full moon panels, and whatnot, like a new moon. Like, all these different, I guess it wouldn't be a panel because it'd be anime. But, like, just the way that, you know, that they're going to make it, like, emphasized on just, like, a scenery moment in while he does an attack, which is going to be really cool. The sun one already looks really cool, so the moon one, we've only seen a little bit of it, but it's still a really interesting concept and display. And really quick, just because, you know, I haven't chilled yet in this stream, I do these streams every week. If you want to check them out, it's mostly like a community come and chat discussion. Have, you know, you got any questions you want to ask me about anything in general or anything that happened in manga this week, you know, that, you know, I read or you think I might be interested in, you know, go ahead. I'm planning eventually on having, like, guests come on and, you know, chit-chat for part of the stream. But for right now, it's just me, you know, at the moment. But, like I said, also, if you could, thumbs up the stream, but friend the like button. And anyone who hasn't yet, you know, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But other than that, let me get back to the stream. I don't want to shield too much. You should make a top 10 reaction videos. It would have to be on series, I guess. But, like... doing a top 10 reaction, it would be like something you do in real time. It'd be weird. It'd be like top 10 reviews or like reactionary chapters, you know, what affected me at the time. I love Zeref's Fairy Heart transformation. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Both him and Acnologia look great in that video. Don't let myself fall far behind. I'm getting at it. I'm catching up right now. I always end up falling way on behind on streams because I I get a question that will just make me rant, and I just want to talk about like a specific moment for a long time. How do you think the fight with Devil drag out too much? A lot of people felt it's been going on for too long and should have been done earlier. No, you got to keep in mind this is the first time that Tabata is having a demon like act in the manga, and they're big deals. Clearly, he's got to emphasize it because now the weight is going to be way heavier in the future when it's like, oh, there's 5 demons. It's like, okay, shit, how are we going to overcome that level? It's got to be a big display. It's either going to be really short and then the characters lose, or it's going to be a really hard fought win. So it's like comparing it to Acnologia first appearance. He absolutely decimated everybody on the team, and Fairy Tail lost 7 years of life within the world, and their guild fell into shambles. And you had all this huge loss on their part, and they had to have this huge turnaround time. But with the Devil, they have to beat him. This guy has to lose. He's too powerful to get away. He's too dangerous. There's no out, so they gotta beat him. And the gap between what they have against him is also way smaller than the gap between what they had against Acnologia. It's a much more plausible win, if they, beat him. In this case, they are going to beat him. So it has to be very strung out of this severity of what it's going to take to beat this guy. And so again, it's like when we saw again in Naruto, we saw all these characters come out, and then you saw how strong Orochimaru was, and then you find out Orochimaru is just one of the Akatsuki, and he's one of the weakest Akatsuki. So that's going to be the thing with the demon. It's something that also establishes a point, but also builds up on a big opening of where it could expand into. Because again, imagine if we find out there's more demons and the word devil is mid-level, because he never tried to proclaim that he was top dog or anything. The only time we know that there is a hierarchy within them, but he does believe that he is superior to the anti-magic demon, but there's been no interactions with that yet, so we don't know exactly if he's just trying to flex himself, or if he's downplaying the anti-magic demon, or what he's doing. We just know that there is going to be demons below and above him, but to what level we don't know yet. That's the thing. What do you think of the last Black Clover episode? I'm hyped. They're getting ready. It's almost time for Julius versus Patri, which is going to be really awesome. And from what I understand, it's been hyped up Asta versus Ludros and Rill versus Yuno. So that's going to be really cool. I think that's going to be even better. It's going to have a lot more of an impact, I think, on the anime-only people than the manga people. Because with the manga, the people that saw, when Julius died, there was this kind of complaint that he, it's a shame that he died. Obviously, that's a big deal story-wise because he's the most powerful member of the Clover Kingdom. But for the fans, there were people that liked him, but for the most part, the fans weren't as attached. Kind of like All Might from, the obvious, most easy-to-compare series to Black Clover. It's, for some reason, current rival in the eyes of a lot of fans, My Hero Academia. Whereas All Might has a lot of time to really get used to people. People got, attached to him very fast. It was more like Yami for Black Clover, but with Julius, he doesn't have that kind of connection with a lot of fans, something again like All Might. But I think with the way that it's going to be handled in the story, it's going to be more of you're seeing it affect the captains. Because again, with Yami, I think Julius's death, seeing it through Yami's eyes, is going to feel a lot heavier than seeing it through the reader's eyes, in a way, which again is very interesting. But given what we could get in the anime, a much more strung out fight, giving him that a way more bolstering, presence, give you way bigger spells, a way flashier fight. For the anime only people, it will give an extra, kind of grasp at attachment to Julius, so when he dies, it'll add a little bit extra to it. But also kind of add in the much more swelled one of, this guy was this big of a deal, and they lost him. The Clover King, the biggest character they have, and he's gone. What level of blow is that going to be to their country in total? Which, again, is very interesting. And I'm hoping that that's how it's handled, that it's not just kind of brushed under. Because you got to keep in mind, there's 3 other kingdoms, at least, that we know right now. The Heart Kingdom and the Clover Kingdom are in seemingly good relationships. but the Spade and the Diamond Kingdom are both hostile. So, and they just heard, keep in mind that for them, they just heard that the biggest threat, like, in going to war with the Clover Kingdom is gone. The biggest component to, like, their military is disappeared. So now you have a much greater opportunity at defeating them, conquering their kingdom if they want to engage, do whatever their plan is. Especially with the Diamond Kingdom, because we don't know a lot about the Spade Kingdom, but we know how hostile the Diamond Kingdom is. So whenever they make their move, it's gonna have a much bigger impact on, the level of shit that could go on for them. Let me see. I think people are getting irritated at how the devil is being cocky. Oh yeah, he's very powerful. The power of friendship came from the 3 swords of darkness, wind, and anti-magic. Will tear the demon to pieces. Yeah, that's true. Man, fucking Yami's level of OPness that he can achieve with Mana Zone and Dimension Slash is gonna be fucking ridiculous. If he could just make a zone where he's sending constant, long-range, like, Dimension Slashing slices. Oh my god, what is it? Taking forever. I just a machine in the background. I don't know if it was getting picked up. It was just taking an extra long time to go about its goddamn roboticism. What's up, Tellam? How's it going? How are you doing today? The devil laughed when he got cut. Yeah, he seems to have that kind of like hysterical laughing bit to it now. He's just kind of like falling apart because he's getting defeated. If he just didn't fuck around with them, if he just left, got them some of these villains. He was too confident in what he was doing. He didn't weigh in his the level of risk he was displaying in fighting these. He should just, did what he could to escape. And that's probably going to fuck him over. And I'm hoping that when we find out, like, when we get to more demons, maybe, like, they grill the shit out of this dude for it. I mean, like, you're an idiot. You divulged in, in some petty battles with humans and elves, and look what the fuck happened to you. I'm hoping he doesn't die, but I'm hoping he gets, like, so drastically injured he has to retreat. And he can't fight anymore. It's literally just a suicide run. And that's when we get him, like, a beaten state and meet more demons. I'm hoping. There's a lot of things that I'm hoping for coming up. It's because the devil isn't enjoyable. He's an alright guy. My favorite animated moment was actually Jalal's Great Chariot and Guild Arts just August. Great Chariot looking good as always. I'm glad to see some good Jalal scenes coming up. To most, you guys talk to each other. How do you rank the drag meters from weakest to strongest? At the moment, Georg is obviously the strongest. He's our guild master. But I would say probably Madball and Kiri, I feel like, are opposites to each other because you have they should go hand in hand. He's all offense, or she's all offense, and he's all defense. So it would just kind of like keep going around each other. But he's pretty powerful too. He seems way more durable than Kyria is, or way more powerful than Kyria is durable. I would kind of put Kyria at the bottom if I had to pick between them, but for the most part, I think they'd be about even. And then I think Scarion is stronger than both of them. He just seems like he's going to be much more of like a leader type. He's got a much more interesting... I mean, he's also got so much more of an interesting Dragon Slayer attribute. You compare him with, like, Blade and Armor. It's like, wow, that probably sounds really cool. I just realized Sword and Shield, like, joke from Pokemon. But anyway. And then you have a dude who's a bone dragon. He's going to have a skeletal dragon, hopefully Dragon Force. I'm hoping they turn into dragons. I really want them to turn into dragons before their characters are killed off or just, like, literally, like, written off or killed off. I'm hoping they turn into dragons. We need to see more dragon battles in Fairy Tail. That's one of the things that's like, this is the arc where you can have a ton of dragons do stuff, and yet no one will complain. Well, maybe not a ton, but, like, we know how dragon slaying magic works. These guys can be eating dragons. They should be able to turn into dragons, and then we get, like, characters getting to fight dragons. Because I would be like, that's like a pinnacle moment for a lot of characters, is being able to 1v1 a dragon, and even if you aren't a dragon slayer, that'd be a big deal within, like, the Fairy Tail world, because we know that they had to invent, dragon slaying magic normally for anyone to be able to contend with a dragon. The only character that really seems like would be able to contend with a dragon that's not a dragon slayer or, like, a crazy immortal like Xerath or Toka is August, who's just a human. August seems like the only raw human that I think could take a dragon in Fairy Tail for sure. A normal dragon, not like Acnologia or, like, the Dragon Gods. Well, he should be able to beat Irene, and Irene's a royal level dragon, so August could probably beat, like, most dragons. He's fucking super powerful. He's like the one exception to raw humans at the moment. But anyway, I just rambled on there. I always get mixed up sometimes when I'm trying to catch up because I can't. Sometimes I can't tell if what's directed towards me and what's directed towards like other people having a conversation within the chat. Oh my god, how far am I behind? Oh wait, here we go. Whew. What if Toka's messing with Alderaan just like Morphobia, and that's why he's such a sleepy boy? I think he's just a sleepy boy. I think he's just super tired. And she's like, this is the perfect hideout because people can't just like start fighting Toka in there because one, it's gonna it could hurt the people, but it could also draw in the wrath of Alderaan. And she's directly at one of her eventual targets, so she's got like this set up offense and defense like situation or environments, and that's just going to be really good for a character. I think Alderaan just doesn't. He's not paying any fucking attention. Toka just seems sneaky because the White Witch, like the contrast with the White Witch. So with the Dragon Gods are all going to be around Acnologia, normal Acnologia's level, not the Space Between Time version, and they're going to have their own hacks and their own special abilities. With Zareth and Toka is allegedly around Zareth's level, but like Zareth he's extremely powerful, like in just like raw magic, which she seems to have as well, given that she like clearly no difficulty beat Jalal and Laxus at the same time, which is massive. But which automatically would put her like high level, because Jalal and Laxus could both beat most of the Spriggans, and her being able to no difficulty beat both of them at the same time is crazy. But she doesn't seemingly have the numbers to compete with Zareth. So like, what is one of the things that like her forces? Because if she could match a normal Zareth in terms of power, that's one thing. But Zareth obviously had an entire continent with over 1 million soldiers and a super high level 12 spec op group. Her thing could be more of like, you don't know who's under her control. I talked about how like she could bring in old characters in, and they could we could get to see a character from a previous arc. We could see, I'm trying to think of somebody off the top of my head. Fucking Monsieur Soul from back in the Phantom Lord. Remember that dude? The dude that Elfman fought. He had Earth powers. One of the Elemental Four. He could come back, fight somebody else. He could fight fucking Juvia. He could fight Juvia for all we know. And Elemental Four rematch, or I guess reunion. But Juvia is so much more powerful now than what, Elemental 4 Phantom Lord arc level. But he could be boosted by Toka or anybody around that. Like, he could compete with Gray for all we know and be able to fight Gray only because Toka enhanced them. I think it'd be a really cool idea for both, like, a chance to bring back old characters, give them, give characters matches they never got, give them a spotlight to, show some love to some older characters. Or, like, it's just, imagine, Goldmine, Bob, and I think it's just Goldmine and Bob at the top end, or oh my god, I can never remember how to pronounce it. Poliuchika, or whatever the medicine lady that is related to Fairy Tail. Could you imagine any of them? Because like, what was it? I know it was Rob, Bob, which they're on the same fucking team for some reason. Goldmine, members of other guilds, or I guess guildmasters of other guilds. Like Goldmine is the guildmaster of Quattro Cerberus, and Bob is the Guildmaster of Blue Pegasus, and we could go also stuff like the old lady from Lamia Scale. Imagine all of them, like, it turns out all these like Guildmasters have been under Toka's control for who knows how long, but also the fact that, maybe they could be more powerful. We can finally see these characters who were, fucking two of them were on Makarov's team when he was young, and yet we know nothing about them. They've always had this kind of like, wow, they must be powerful kind of like vibe to it, but they've never done anything. You can have them finally get to do something now, but be strong enough to compete with like the current level of characters only because Toka. It just adds like an extra layer of both story like interest, but also like fan service interest, which I just think is a really cool thing they could do. What did you realize, Flame Man? Oh yeah, question mark Spider. Believe me when I say that I do have plenty of problems. The final Makarov's revival and Anna's appearance I thought was fine because it gave explanations to stuff in the story, some questions. Makarov didn't need to come back. I understand Mishima's logic. He talks about how two immortals dying, cheating, a god, and like life and death. That it should affect like the idea of life and death in a way. Bringing Makarov back. I didn't like that. I think it should have been he killed off multiple characters. He should have killed off a handful of characters. You know, we didn't need. There's a bunch of members of Fairy Tail we don't need, or he could even killed like Elfman or something or Mira Jane, and then like have multiple characters die off, and then have that to where they can bring back one character and then like do something crazy like, oh, a fan poll of who comes back. That actually would have been amazing. That would have been a really cool thing. Could you imagine he killed off 4 characters and then it's like, hey, vote for one of these characters, like a popularity poll, but only between like 4 characters, and then whoever won was going to be brought back. And that's why Makarov's brought back. It's like there's a bunch of characters, but a lot of people, because of the moment, it's just like, man, I wish Makarov came back. And then it's like Makarov comes back, and it's purely because of this reason. It's like, we would have given you anybody back. Anybody at all in the whole story. Like, actually, could you imagine that? Could you imagine if it was anybody the entire story? It's like Hades just comes back, and that too. And it's like, how does this happen? They're just like, I don't know. There was some force that was really cheering for me, and I had like that many cheers of how many votes he got. That would have been amazing. But I'm hoping it has relevance to something later on. Like, if they ever do anything with Ankh Saram somehow does something with Makarov. Like, imagine he's gonna do something. Like, Ankh Saram is pissed off. Maybe Toka's goal, I've talked about maybe Toka's goal, I'm gonna do a video on that, is related to Ankh Saram. I'm gonna do a video of that on, I'll reset tomorrow. Imagine Ankh Saram is pissed off. Like, he's had it with people. He's gonna go lay waste to fucking the world. He's gonna do God stuff. God, world-ending stuff. And because Makarov he died. He didn't have a near-death experience. He was straight dead and came back to life. Imagine because of that cheat of 2 immortals, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they brought Makarov back, is maybe it's like Mavis and Zareth, like, you know, make Makarov, like, apologize, accidentally makes him an immortal, and he becomes, like, the watcher of, like, the world in case Ankh Saram does anything. And, like, he has visions, and then it's like, what happens? And it's like, nothing like we've ever seen before or could fathom. And, you know, we just see, like, a character, like, approaching, like, just imagine, like, Earth as a thing, but it's, like, kind of like in a display. Or I guess there's this Earth land. And you just have a god in, like, another dimension or something. He's just approaching it. And you just get, like, this absurd panel or something crazy. And this character's coming in. And it's like, that's why Makarov was brought back. He's going to be, you know, a little bit of a, you know, a preemptive warning of, like, the big end game of Fairy Tail. Because that's logically the end game. Like, there could be a next generation where it's like, okay, yeah, new villains, new bad guys that are up and coming, maybe characters that weren't relevant prior, but, like, they are now because of, like, oh, I was going to be a villain for X amount of time, but I couldn't ever do anything because Zareth and Ecnologia and all these, and Toka and all these characters. And then, you know, 20 years later, I can finally operate, I'm finally ready. You get stuff like that, but for normal, like, original Fairy Tail world, Ankh Saram is the logical endgame, because when I talk about him and Toka, just really quick, is because she obviously viewed Zareth as, like, an evil in the world that she wanted to take care of, but Ankh Saram could literally make another Zareth anytime he wants. He could look for another prodigy in magic, someone else really smart, understanding of magic, give him the curse, turn them fucking crazy, mess with their minds, do god, human manipulation, turn him into another Zareth, and then, you know, bam, he could do that at multiple people at the same time if he wanted to. He just clearly it's not his goal. So, but in Toka's mind, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, he's capable of that. Deal with it. I need to do something about it. But so logically, Ankh Saram, and he's really the root cause of everything in this series, if he's ever used. Like, Zareth had a lot of influence overall, but, like, the root cause obviously is Ankh Saram. So him being, like, in the story, I'm hoping will be, like, again, endgame Fairy Tail. I'm hoping that to happen, and then maybe, like, next generation, and everyone gets to be a legend, and then, you know, all the new characters come up, and then whether or not it's an entirely different guild, or, you know, all the main characters' kids or whatnot, we'll see. There's always that possibility. All Ass has to do is absorb the Mastermind's key, and he can be incredibly overpowered. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he can't have Mana Zone, though. What do you mean absorb the Mastermind's key? I don't understand what you mean. That all, plus 3... fake out deaths don't bother me, as long as they have plot progression. So, legitimately, I thought Juvie was going to die. Legitimately, I thought Juvie was going to die. I didn't think Gagio was going to die. And the reasons for that is Gagio and Levi, it was already pretty much because The novels are all canon, from what I understand, except for like straight up Elseworld stuff, like the one that's just an Alice in Wonderland parody. But we know that Gajeel has kids with Levi. They have twins, and like obviously now we're seeing like that finally come to fruition as it's beginning. But I didn't think Gajeel was going to die because we had no signs that Levi was pregnant, and unless at the end of the arc it revealed that she was and he died, then there was no he could be dead. Juvia I thought was actually going to die because of how oh my god, Reina got it in Rave Master. That happened to Musica, and that seemed to be going the ways of with Gray. But we got a lot of plot progression or not plot, character progression between Gray and Juvia in that, and now we know the only reason left that Gray isn't with Juvia is because of that moment, because of the fact that he thought she died, he thought he lost her, and he wasn't able to protect her. That he wants to be strong enough to prevent that. If like a scenario ever happens again, he wants to be strong enough before he gets with her, which I think was a really good like way to turn that into a bigger moment for Gray. Which it was already a plot moment for him, or a character moment for him that progressed him a ton. But now we're getting a second layer of that, which is really cool, and I really like that about it. It depends entirely how fake deaths happen. If it's literally, I know one person in the audience is going to be like, oh, you're hating on One Piece. No. Trafalgar Law and Dressrosa, because he got it like 3 or 4 times in one arc, and nothing came out of it other than his backstory. It's like, okay, cool, we got his backstory, but is he going to die, or how is this fake out death going to happen, or be handled? And then he did it like 2 or 3 more times. It was so confusing of why Oda kept like thinking maybe the audience was like, maybe we got him this time. No, he's good. He's still walking. Law is back on his feet. If Asta had all for one, a lot of broken bones, less broken bones. I'm really excited about the anime. It's Yaiba hasn't got to any of those hype. Oh yeah, the hype arcs. Oh, the Red Light District arc is the most hype early arc. I really like the current arc, but I'd say like, when the anime, that'll probably be in season 2. When the anime gets to the Red Light District arc, I think it's going to be wild as shit just because of that fight. I'm not going to say anything if you're an anime only. But Rex, what are your thoughts on the devil as a villain? I like the way he's being handled, because we knew that there were holes throughout the story of the elves take on what happened and the humans take on what happened. There were obviously very conflicting aspects between them, but there were holes in both sides of the story. And we knew, there were a lot of people really that were readers knew that there was something fishy. There was something being, things missing from the stories for them to make sense. And that was on purpose. And then the demon got revealed, the word devil, and it was really cool. It was like, oh, crazy, a devil. You know how demons work in, old-fashioned like style. I think it's Christian mythology or very biblical demons. They're much more manipulators. They're like very silver-tongued. They want to get in your head and whisper lies to people to trick them, and that's what we got with this one. I thought was really cool, but also on the fact that he's not going for a long drawn out like crazy like in deep like the master villain like Zareth is for Fairy Tail. It was much more of Zero. What was Zero in the Racion Seis arc? We knew each time an Racion Seis member was defeated that one of the seals on Brain would go away, finally revealing Zero, who is the true master of Racion Seis. And he wasn't going for that like deeper villain. He was I'm a very intimidating, powerful, and threatening character, and you guys have to beat me this arc or you're fucked. There's no like, I'm gonna let you go and do nice things and re-strategize like Zareth. There was just a raw like, I am an obstacle you have to overcome. And it was really flexing, because that was the first guildmaster of the Balam Alliance that they fought, because we got Hades a few arcs later, and then finally Mard Gear, and then, more reveals about, like, their level later on and other characters. But this was the first display, because so you got the first display of a demon in Black Clover, and again, like, comparison, this is the first debut of a big Dark Guild master in Fairy Tail. So you gotta look at that in that aspect. I think he's a pretty good villain for the first layout. I think that's very interesting, the way that he's been portrayed. And I've had a lot of fun, and it looks like this is the end for him. The train arc is pretty much where I've seen the Kimetsu no Yaiba's anime ending. I'm gonna binge watch the anime when it ends. I watched the first couple episodes, but I'm gonna wait because I really want to watch the story like what they put out in one go. That's just how these like early story arcs go because of the fact that it's all going to be condensed in like the pitch season because they want you to get hooked on it. It's always going to feel different than other seasons. Devil versus Seven Deadly Sins Demon, but only with assault mode, Meliodas. I mean, I think he could probably beat most characters in Seven Deadly Sins. Just like the level of hacks and the way he can combine it, but also the fact that he just seems unkillable. But they have magic cancel. Merlin has magic cancel, so if they whittled him down to his heart and then use magic cancel, because I think Chandler also has it. I think Chandler is probably around. No, because Seven Deadly Sins is like island level, and the word devil is like he's pushing like small country, given like he's more capable than Lumiere and Licht at the same time, which is the only other character that's like overwhelmed Licht, or Lumiere was Demon Licht, or Lumiere was Demon Licht. That was the only other character that's overwhelmed him like this, and he was allegedly able to blow up the Clover Kingdom. But the Clover Kingdom, like the other ones, they're pretty small. I think they're only like viewed a couple 100 miles across. I think they're like somewhere between like 400 to 500 kilometers wide each. I believe the last time someone looked at it and like the maps, because like I believe the skull is like near the edge of their kingdom. I'd have to go look. I'm fairly certain. Yeah, because it's beyond Asta's village, and Asta's village is literally like border of the Clover Kingdom, so it should be. And we've seen like what it looks like, and I believe the capital city itself, I think like that whole area that it covers is like 50 or 60 miles, and we see like that to the radius of the country. Yeah, so anyway, I think the War Devil could probably beat Seven Deadly Sins. 1v1. I don't think he could beat the whole series at once because of they have similar combinations that could really help them, like that's beating him in Black Clover with less people. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Kimetsu no Yaiba. Wait. Yeah. Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. Same thing. I'm pretty sure they mean the same fucking thing. Doesn't it? Yeah. Junko from Danganronpa. He would hate Asta because he devours despair. I thought Junko was a chick. Isn't that the chick who's just really weird? Yeah, let's think of the truth. Yeah, why is it easier to say? Yeah, it feels... I think that's like the same thing I feel like with Jujutsu Kaisen, because I think Jujutsu Kaisen translates into like majestic battle, and then fucking Kimetsu no Yaiba just translates into Demon Slayer. Both those names are super bland. I think they just sound cooler in Japanese. I don't know, some things sound better in Japanese. What is it? There's it's one of the Dragon Ball movies. One of the Dragon Ball movies has such a different dub to sub name, I think it's Fusion Reborn. I think it's Fusion Reborn, and then the Japanese version is like Fiery Battle the movie, or something ridiculous like that. It's some like really bland sounding Japanese name. That's like what I get with Jujutsu Kaisen and Kimetsu no Yaiba. I just like saying them by their Japanese names better. Again, they don't sound as interesting. Demon Slayer sounds like such a milk toast name for a series, but it sounds better in Japanese. You can obviously work like kanji and stuff and romanji and whatever other types there are in Japanese to make them look better. You know, give them slightly different meanings. Like, you know, when words have like double meanings in Japanese and stuff. You know, it's just a different way that it translates. I haven't watched the first episode of Dr. Stone. I'm gonna wait for the season to end because I've read up to like the first season, so I'm gonna wait and then rewatch it all. Because I feel like it's gonna be better to watch than to read. Because that's like cool to read, but it's like Breaking Bad with way more science than drama, and that's what I was hoping for. It's still entertaining, but it's like I feel like I'm just getting a science lesson every 5 seconds. But I feel like it'd be cooler, having it narrated to you as the events go, because then it's like well, I might as well go read a fucking textbook and just learn science again. But then again, I also really like, I don't know the author's name. I always forget. He did fucking Jackals, Killing Bites, Arachnid Caterpillar, and now he's doing Hymenosapia, I believe, on this series. and he does lots of nature like quick scenes where he teaches you something about like bugs or animals or something. He does that all the fucking time. But yeah, I'm gonna get up with Doctor Stone, this anime, and then Fire Force. I just was really happy to watch, and they added an extra flow to it within the first episode that the manga doesn't have, just to make it feels much more like a TV show, like if you were watching a cop drama, which is really cool. Not maybe a cop drama, but like one that's a comedy drama, you know, where you can't tell if a scene's gonna be really sad or really funny, and then. The way that Shinra just felt like a new cast member. I thought that was really cool. He was the new guy, kind of like Scrubs. Think of like the first episode of Scrubs. You have all these characters who are already with, you know, like I said, cogs in the machine. And Shinra was just trying to figure out where he fit in there. I thought that was really cool about the feel of episode 1 of Fire Force. What do you think is the strongest shonen protagonist of this period? Goku doesn't count. No, it's you. I guess I can still count Yugi because of Dark Side of Dimensions. Dude, if you mean like a new generation, give me the series. If you mean of just like shonen like of recent years, it's Yugi. Yugi's the most powerful by a lot. Like Yu-Gi-Oh's power levels are fucking ridiculous for a series about card games, but I think that's what adds a little bit of its charm. I already read that. Black Clover was the Voltron universe. Who'd be the Black Lion? I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about Voltron. I'm not a Voltron guy. Does Luffy then does wait, what? I'm so confused on what how this question works. I need you to ask that question again, Jared Punch, but 2010s to 2010s? Or 2020? I'd have to look at a list in the last specific 9 years. I don't fucking know on that list. You're gonna have to give me like a list of series. Just give me a list of series, and I'll say who's the strongest main character out of those. Like, holy shit. Could you imagine just like, in the last 7.5 years, which main character had the most times that they had power-ups? I don't fucking know. That's way too hard of a parameter. If you just had like a generation list, because there's like obviously different. There's like the Dragon Ball. I would consider like Dragon Ball to Yu-Gi-Oh to be an era, and then like One Piece to like probably around Toriko to be an era, and then like My Hero Academia, and then Takura is kind of like how I see it. Because My Hero Academia seems like it's weird because Seven Deadly Sins doesn't feel like it feels like a trailer of the previous kind of like generation of manga. Because like I consider like the big four of that era were Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, and Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail kind of being the odd man out, obviously not Shonen Jump. It was coming towards that, and then Seven Deadly Sins kind of feels like a trailer, like a straggler within that gen, and then My Hero Academia just feels kind of like the start of the current generation. It feels, I don't know, it's weird to describe just because it's purely based on just like how you feel like areas of manga, like timelines, and like I guess like I don't want to say factions, but if it's like if it's them forward, if it's My Hero Academia forward, I think it would be between, currently off the top of my head, of what they're capable of. I think Asta is one of the strongest. Musashi from Orient, which Orient's gonna blow up the second it fucking gets an anime. I'm annoyed that it doesn't have a translation group yet. It doesn't have a simultaneous English release. But Orient, I can guarantee when Orient gets an anime, it's gonna fucking blow up. Orient is like Fire Force and fucking Kimetsu no Yaiba. I knew that the second it got an anime, it was gonna blow up. It's just one of those series. And Black Clover I knew was gonna, but obviously it got big, but the struggle on the level of animation on the anime, obviously compared to, you can look at fucking Kimetsu no Yaiba's anime, Fire Force's anime, and a lot of My Hero Academia like anime scenes, like. They've only picked up recent, but like early Black Clover. Well, actually, the first episode of Black Clover, first like 2 episodes were good, and then it kind of straggled. Actually, I think after they got introduced to the Black Bulls, I think the animation started to really straggle. That's probably where they put a lot of their budget. But you know what I mean? In comparison to like Kimetsu no Yaiba's animation looked so good, and it was such like an enticing thing to people in the anime, and then people got in the anime wanted, there are people that want to get to the manga. So, when you look at those two things, it's going to happen. I can guarantee you. When Orient gets an anime, I can guarantee you. I think Eden Zero as well when it gets an anime. Because one of the things Eden Zero definitely will benefit way more of than Fairy Tail. from anime. Fairy Tail, I think when it got, like, if you look at both of them of getting an anime, Fairy Tales would be the action, a lot of, I think it has a lot of better fight scene choreography than Eden Zero early on, especially, and a lot of better fights. Like, if the first year, because in the first year, you know, you had a lot of good fights within Fairy Tail. Eden Zero has some good ones, but I don't think as many. But with Fairy Tail, it was going to be much more of like the action and the animation scenes. And with Eden Zero, I think where it will really benefit the animation is the scenery, because it has a lot of really good scenery shots. And like, the drawings of space always can look cool, but like, you know that space can be drastically boosted in appearance by colors and stuff, which I think the animation is going to really hype it up. And then like color wise as well for Orient, I think it has like a more of like a performance, like a display thing. If you've read Orient yet, the way that the anime is going to be, it's just like it's going to look really nice in a lot of scenes. And then we'll see. Jujutsu Kaisen will obviously be the action, great action. So waiting for some of these series to come up, but I knew that fucking I knew that there was going to be such a big boost for Fire Force. Anyway, Fire Force is definitely up there. Shinra too, because well, the thing about Shinra, I had this debate with somebody recently because Shinra, obviously, there's a big boost in his character because when he can access his Adola link, he can move it. He has a direct like line movement where he can turn light speed, but he can't do that at will yet. He can't connect at will. So that's like one of those things where it's like a big thing for his character eventually, but not now. That a lot of people are kind of focusing on versus something like Asta can access his black form now as of recent in the story, so you can count like things he's done in that form. But with Shinra, you can't really count the light speed movement, because it's not something that he's able to access at will now. It has to either trigger emotionally or be physically, or be like induced by another person with the link. Well, because, yeah, that's the thing. Saitama, yeah, Saitama is up there. Well, Saitama, though, is raw power. That's the thing that fucks him over, I think a lot of people don't consider. He's obviously raw power, he's got speed, but Hax is going to fuck him over. Like, him versus Shinra is going to fuck him over in the end. Because Shinra's is like weird light speed where he can fucking do particle shit and somehow like seemingly see people's past if he passes through them while he's in light speed form because of time-space fuckery. You know, there's a lot of stuff. Saitama is definitely up there though, for sure. Is it a Seinen? It's not a Weekly Shonen Jump. I think it's in Weekly Shonen. Oh my god, what is their monthly version called? It's by Viz. I think it's I don't know. Someone look it up. Escape the magic of space cards. Do you think there is a way to escape the magic of space cards? Those cards trapped. There's the Tower of Heaven and those trapped in Fairy Tail and Turtle Saga. Yeah, as long as you have a weapon that could cut space. That's like one of the things that like fucking Ikaruga could do, or like Kuwabara. If you have a character that could cut like a spot in space, you could probably, because it's spatial magic, you'd break it and then you get out. Because that's exactly what Ikaruga did. You gotta remember. It's not a sinning though. Oh, you guys are talking. I'll just keep going, because as much as I hate haters, one of the things pointed out is that the magic is extremely OP, and therefore why don't they always use it? Depends. Like Yami's is a technique. Ikaruga's was straight just sword slashes. That bitch is OP, and she was using it all the time. It depends. It's one of those things that's like Margira's Memento Mori, a curse that erases the concepts between life and death and just can vanish you from reality. But he can't just spam it. He used it once. Like he had to be in his Aetherius form to use it. It depends entirely on how much it drains out of the character. As well as situation, scenarios, what are the costs on using the ability? Is it just energy drain, or is it going to, like, mess with muscle atrophy, or be like fucking Aki's nail in Chainsaw Man, where it takes off years of his life? You got to keep that in mind a lot of the time. Also, again, just because it's been a while, I'd really appreciate if you thumbs up the video and keep commenting on the stream. I enjoy talking to people. I can establish the fact Nero isn't worried that possessed humans are not turning back to normal. It's not a concern right now. It's not the concern at the moment. If the demon doesn't survive, I won't be entirely disappointed, because he at least went out the most believable way possible. Yeah, of course. There's there's the idea of him dying and then other demons commenting on it, or him escaping at low life and then them commenting on his sorry state. I'm hoping he gets out alive just to see like the demons interact with his failure. I think that'd be really cool. I think that'd be a really nice hype moment, especially for them. Oh god, I almost lost my spot. Hold on. Do you think Asta will develop his own version of the Dimension Slash? A long range slash anti magic. I kind of want him to, but I like there's like the idea of that between it's like, okay, this guy's 50 feet from me. I need to be able to shoot an attack 50 feet out of my sword. But imagine instead of like Asta thinking, how can I range attack this? What if he said, okay, I need to make my sword through Black Divider 50 feet long? Imagine that. That would be so much cooler if you just instead of like his like trying to figure out how can I do ranged attacks, it's like how can I make my sword big enough to cover that range? That would be so much cooler. And it would just like add that like extra layer onto Asta of like hard work, breakthrough progress, and it's just like fuck your distance. It just swings a 50-foot long sword of like just black like anti-magic. That would be so cool. I want that to happen so bad. I love this. I theorized of like if he could make his sword bigger if it's only this fixated state, but this opens like so many ideas of could you imagine? Because it's like could you imagine? It's like the idea of like oh we could invade the Clover Kingdom. What's stopping us? And it's like oh the Wizard King Julius Novachrono, he's got powerful time magic, and you'd be like shit manipulation of time. That's crazy. And then it's like imagine like way later along Wizard King Asta. It's like what's so dangerous about this guy? It's like, oh, he's got anti-magic. It's like, oh shit, he can cancel magic. And it's like, not only that, he can extend his sword throughout the full length of the entire Clover Kingdom. So you can just like, imagine like a guy like, we're gonna invade, and then it's like, you're literally looking at the border between like Diamond Kingdom and the Clover Kingdom. And then this black sword from all the way from the center capital just comes lowering down. It's like, never mind, let's go home. That would be such a like a it'd be such a like comedic yet badass moment at the same time. I think that would be wonderful. I want that to happen. I want Asta to be able to just throughout the series keep making his sword bigger. Full on embrace the great ultra great sword, please. It can switch between one, but it stays the demographic for one. Oh, you guys are talking about that. Julius wasn't established as a character. He was fine there. He was established, but it wasn't as like it wasn't like Yami. Or again, like I think the comparison the series comparison I think that would like you'd expect is All Might, but I think that All Might matches up more with Yami in the way this character has been kind of like shown to the readers. But I think people were expecting something like All Might, but it's different the way that he's kind of like currently established, the way that it seems like Tabata is going to handle his characters instead of the readers experiencing Julius's death, and that's how they react. They're going to react as how the other characters are going to feel it. Because it's going to be an extra, like, different, like, feel. Because Yami has always been this very badass, calm, like, cool guy. But it's going to be really weird after this arc if we see him mourning and grieving Julius. Because it's like, could you imagine, like, Yami just, like, sitting somewhere, like, at his grave? Like, an old-fashioned, like, he just got, like, a bottle of sake. He's sitting at Julius's grave, and he starts drinking, and then he cries, and it's like he's just, like, breaking down. It'd be such an impactful moment, because it's like, Yami's a badass. Yami's entire character layout that we've got. He's this badass who, he's an all-around tough guy, but in reality, he's got a soft spot for the people in his crew. He's like a teddy bear for his, for his fucking order, his Magic Knight order. But Yami, the first person that he'd ever, like, seem to, like, believe in him was Julius. Like, Yami was just this straight punk that got washed up in another country, experienced some discrimination issues, and then beat the shit out of, like, all the other, like, ruffians until he became a gang leader. And then eventually he got, a grimoire, he became a Magic Knight thanks to Julius, and then eventually became a captain thanks to Julius. Like, he's very... Because, like, you gotta keep in mind to him, too, like, he was, like, 15, 16 when he got washed up on, in the Clover Kingdom, and when he met Julius was already, like, I think he was 28 at the time. He was actually, no, I think he was, because I think Yami right now is 28, and Julius was 42, so it's like, yeah, what's that, 12 years, so, like, 30? He was probably, a very big parental figure to Yami, so he's gonna have a lot of emotional ties to him, I think he especially, Julius, or, Yami and William obviously would, like, from what we know of, would have the biggest emotional attachment to Julius, and especially like the amount of stuff that William caused, like he straight caused the death of Julius. But like Yami, I think is going to be a lot heavier because of how much more the readers are attached to Yami. Yami is literally what did he get, second or third? I think he got second in the popularity poll. This the third one, which is obviously very impressive. Like it usually would go. Oh, Noel got third. Got fourth. Obviously, Yami's still the second favorite character in the series. Only the main character is currently above him. That the fact that the readers really like him, and it's going to have again a lot of impact when we see more of Yami like and in taking Julius's death, which again is going to hold a lot of weight. I think after this arc. Maybe not, like, probably, in the cooldown chapters, when characters, it's going to be like, oh, it's been X amount of days or weeks since, that battle, and characters are finally, getting, leveled out, and it's going to just be, I can just see it. It's like a very, like, stereotypical way to handle Yami's character, in some, like, in the idea, but I think it's going to be handled really well, and just this kind of, like, tearful moment of this super raw giga badass Chad that we've had, and just seeing like him have a time. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to how the captains are going to take on Julius's death when we see more of it from their perspective. Oh god, I'm so far behind. Vikings and Black Clover, dude, that'd be pretty awesome. I'd love to see Vikings and Black Clover. Oh my god, I skipped over so much to read that comment. Hold on, I'm pulling back. Holy shit. Larry Jones? Oh my, the Larry Jones of the Larry Jones Variety Hour. Holy shit, how much am I fucking far behind? Oh my god. That boy Rio. Yeah, Rio is that boss Larry Jones. Oh my god, how fucking far behind am I? Oh my god. Oh, here we go. It was the comment about Julius. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I found it. If Yami, I hope Yami gets some type of awesome power up. I believe he's possible. Theories around darkness magic is true. One of the things about Yami, I think, has been subtly hinted at. I don't think it's been. It's nothing that you could kind of be like for sure. Is like he has his magic. He's clearly a swordsman. He's a magic swordsman. But his sword is just a sword that he's using magic in, and we know he could get a magic tool that could make him stronger by default. So imagine him getting a magic sword from a dungeon or off the black market or a character giving it to him. That'd be a raw power-up in a lot of ways, because it's like, yeah, there's going to be a huge gap between like, oh, you're channeling your magic in through this plain sword, or this sword where it'll be more powerful if you channel it through it because of, I don't know, magic sword, whatever it does. Which would be really cool. I look forward to that. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's laid out in the series as like one of those moments where it's like, Yami, how are you going to get stronger? And he's like, well, for one, I could stop fighting with a plain fucking sword because my sword keeps fucking breaking. Like, I guess he only broke it once, but if it breaks more throughout the story, it'd be one of those things that you could keep building on, like, from what I'm trying to convey, rather. Let's see. It's not at me. Not at me. Let me see. What's the company? Yeah, you guys talking about One Punch Man again. You saw the new One Piece? I am. You saw the new One Piece chapter? I did. I thought it was fine. It was more just like a build-up chapter. The issue is, it's like, that's so non-threatening. Like, Luffy's fighting a bunch of fodder people, and then he's gonna, have his hockey mastered by the time he leaves. It's just like, I don't need to see them beat up on fodder. It was cool to see the Kappa guy introduced. I thought he was kind of cool. I thought he was an interesting character. He was the only one that I didn't care that it was like, oh, Kiku's actually a dude. He's a tranny or something. And I was like, I don't care. And then the ninja guy, I was like, I don't fucking care about this dude. The Kappa guy I actually thought was kind of cool. And like the description of his sword, like his sword slashes, it feels just like the flow go against a river. I thought that was a really cool description. I like that. I thought that was interesting. And then he's also a sumo wrestler samurai, I think is really cool. I thought that was a nice addition in their story. I like that character. I think he's interesting. Who is stronger, the Black Bulls or UA for My Academia? The Black Bulls are absurdly stronger. That's not even a contest. Yeah, that boy Rio, again, Juvia's best girl. I do like Juvia. I don't know about best girl. You watch Stranger? I haven't watched the new season. I keep forgetting. I'm going to watch it soon. I'll watch the new season at some point. I heard it's better than season 2, not as good as season 1. but we'll see. How would you interact with any other shonen rival? It depends. I think a funny one would be Bakugo, because Bakugo would just be yelling at him, and just be like, "Okay, dude, well, what's your deal? We got shit to do. We don't have time for this." I think they'd have make a funny cop drama. He would act like Yami. Yami's goddamn Chad. Who's stronger, Asta in anime or Deku in anime? I mean, at the moment, I think it's still Asta, because he still got way more things, because this is before Deku even gets his power up, and he already in the anime, Asta can use his black form at will. Deku hasn't even gotten infinite 100% yet. That won't be till after this arc, but you still got to keep in mind he can't access that at will. The most logical thing that he could do with it is access it, but he can't. His body can't take it. So every single time he'd use an attack, he'd break a limb again. But then again, I don't think it would still be that form. I guess it would only be a form because he was getting reversed at the time, which is kind of confusing when you think about it. Because it's like, why didn't he have that form earlier in the series? Then it has to be like induced. But I don't know. Maybe it's because like his all for one is or one for all is like a special upgraded version. I guess. So let's just go with that. It actually makes more sense. Yas is more powerful. CC tried that once. We got Jason Todd's death out of it. My theory is correct. Toka's goal is to have Kaneki's third kid. No, you keep that dirty Toka away from interesting Toka. Quit it, goddamn Larry Jones. Demons are made of magic. They seem to be made of some weird extra material. Or at least like magic form, not like raw magic. I don't know. I'm expecting there to be some weird like demonic version, because there's obviously a demonic like buff to anything. And it seems to be its own attribute. At least I'm hoping. We don't know. What's your opinion on the recent Black Clover popularity poll? I thought it was good. I was happy to see Mereoleona in the top 10. That made me very pleased. One thing I noticed, because they didn't have that many people in the polls, like Asta won with only 3,000 votes. Jujutsu Kaisen just had its third poll, and they had over a fucking 160,000 people participate. I think it's because Jujutsu Kaisen was it was done online. They did an online one. I think Black Clovers did the older style one. I think it's through fucking votes, the magazine. I don't know. I didn't see any advertising going on for it, though, is what I mean. And they should have been at the same time, because we got the results for them at the same time. And actually, I don't think we got the full cover. No, we did. We got the cover already for Jujutsu Kaisen. But I'm much more interested in seeing eventually if Black Clover does, or any other series they do online polls now. Because I feel like it would have way more polls, or way more votes if it had, they did the online version. Because then they could include other countries and stuff. I think Yami would still be in second. The only other character I think might pass him up is Noel, and then Austin first. He's the main character. I feel like he still has that presence as the main character. People really like him for the most part, in the fan base. That he would just have that kind of like position. It would have to be a while until it switches over. 1 second, I just gotta message somebody. Streaming. Somebody was inviting me to a game, but I'm obviously busy here. I can't. There's no way I'm gonna. If you played the Team Fight Tactics, the new game mode of League, I would not be able. I'd be so focused in either the stream or the game, I wouldn't be able to help it. Anyway, what's your opinion on the recent Black Clover? Oh, you read that. The fact that half of the females in Black Clover are in the top 10 poll, that shows that treat females better than... Oh, yeah, I'd say better than Shonen Jump. There's definitely series that also treat their women very well. Otherwise, Makin Ki. Makin Ki is, it's a really interesting series, and it's a very lewd series, but I love the series for the fact that it starts out so bland, but it starts out as just like a generic harem series. And I think the author does hentai, but he also really likes action. So like after the first arc of the series, he turned the main character, who was like this pussy, he instantly said, I don't want to be saved by all the girl characters again. So he instantly goes on like this fucking manly training arc, becomes a badass, and then like the series actually has a pretty good plot, a pretty good villain, and the series had its popularity poll, I think like a year ago, and the main character got 6th, and every single character above him was picked because, top tier waifu. And so like literally the main character of his own series got 6th place, and all 1 through 5 were girls. And I thought that was such a funny thing for the dude, because it was like he's actually an interesting character. He's actually come an interesting tournament character. He's not like a so absurd character. Like, he's amazing. He's the best character ever. He's definitely likable though, and it's hard for a lot of harem main characters to be likable because like there's like some that end up awesome, like Rintaro from Dragon's Riding, which got canceled. I'm so sad about because they had like one solid arc left they could have done, and like they just had to wrap it up. And I got so excited when I saw like the character, and then it was like, oh no, it's the series is axed, and I'm never gonna get to see this arc come to fruition. It was so sad, but like there's a lot of harem series where the main character is just like some nerdy weirdo who somehow gets like a million fucking chicks, but that's just like kind of like how that is. Like, it made me laugh because of that. You just reminded me of that. Like, it's to imagine the main character getting 6th place in his own fucking series. That was just funny to me. That was just super funny to me. Anyway, Asta and Yuno versus Luffy with their light speed movements. Do they pose a huge threat, especially together? Yeah, they would fucking kill the shit out of Luffy. Luffy is, I mean, he's strong, but they're obviously faster. And then Yuno could still do some cheat things, like just fuck with air so he can't breathe. And plus I feel like, well, I guess they're not as powerful, but they're so much faster and they're so much more capable of things in that time span. But at the same time, it's a little bit back and forth because I feel like right now, let me think. I don't know, actually, I think I might go with Luffy, because really all Luffy needs to do is get one, like, off attack. He has the AoE. He can just use fucking, like, Elephant Gatling and one-shot both Yuno and Asta. I think they're going to be way more powerful than him in the long run, though, for sure. It just seems like it's going to go down that way for a lot of Black Clover's power levels whenever they get there. Oh, yeah. Anyway, let's see. Where was I? Real estate. On the Final Fight Act, Logan is the best fight for Excel. I don't know about that. Like, some of the best fights, Sting and Rogue had a lot of good choreography. Same thing with Zero, Hades, Marg Gear. Those were all great. And Zeref versus Natsu didn't have a lot of, like, big, crazy hype moments. I'd say, like, you know, when you see a big battle and you see, like, destruction everywhere, crazy spell stuff. But it had a lot of really good fight choreography moments, a lot of really good badass scenes, and, you know, a lot of good character moments as well. Acnologies was cool. It definitely had final boss material, like, layout. That's what I think. I like the space between time. I like the way that it looked. It actually reminds me a lot of Stellar Memory in Rave Master. It's kind of like that kind of crystalline, like, design. It's not the same, but it has a little bit of a feel to it. I think it'd be really cool if Hiro Mishima tied Eden Zero to a similar kind of, like, extra dimension or something, and then it's like all these are the same place, and you know, this is the connecting point between a series or something like that. That'd be really cool. You know, I think that'd be really interesting. And just there's this kind of like you know, connection point that like all the series that he makes will eventually come to, which I think would be a really cool concept. We can't confirm if there are any light speed. JK and can't. In what? In Black Clover? Well, no, they definitely got reactionary speeds for it, because Patri and Lumir are both light speed. They're definitely both light speed, and they're not like, oh, we can just keep up with him freely, but they've been able to react to his attacks. Asta to be only because of key sensing, so his is more like aim dodging, and then just, I guess both of them would be aim dodging, so they can kind of like just react to things at that speed, but they aren't that speed, at least at the moment. Black Clover definitely seems like it's going to have much higher power level, you know, than One Piece by both series end. Mishima deliberately did not let anyone die in the Alvarez saga before the start of the war. Natsu and Lucy had a discussion that aims to take standards ending to battle shonen where everyone dies. I mean, Mavis died. Mavis absolutely died. Dead as fuck. And we lost Zeref. Oh, I miss you, boy. I miss Zeref. I miss him so much. Dude, love his character. I like that he still gets mentioned later on. Like, Toka's still mentioning him and shit. I think that's really cool. Let's see. Oh, Zora in the top 10. That would have been awesome. But Zora's like that character that, like, he's an asshole, but people like him because he's an asshole, but not everybody likes a character who's an asshole. But he's definitely my favorite male lead. I like the list, though. I think the list is cool. The only person on there that I'm actually really surprised is Charlotte. Because I knew Asta. Asta's the main character. Yuno's the rival. Noelle's the female lead. Yami's the super badass. Mimosa's like on there, but it doesn't surprise me too much because she kind of has this almost like she seems like a character who's Noelle's understudy. Like you'd set up like if I ever want to kill Noelle, I want to have a girl set up that would make sense for Asta to get within her place, and then Mimosa. Probably won't be. Noelle's too liked of a character. Maybe kill off Mimosa then actually, but it doesn't surprise me that Mimosa is on there. Gosh is actually really surprising as well. He's the most surprising. Charmy, I knew Charmy would be on there. Charmy's a fan favorite. Luck has this high level of presence with fangirls. Like that, I know that for a fact. That became apparent in the last one too, as well as like a lot of fan art. Charlotte is surprising, but Gosh is the most surprising because I guess his character did have a good moment recently, but still, I feel like him being on there is very weird. But whatever. Zora being on there would have been cool. Merleona being on there though makes me happy because she just obviously is a badass and she deserves her spot on there. Who's faster, Luffy Snake Man or Full Brain Ichigo Bankai? Ichigo for sure. Ichigo for sure. Well, one of the things though about Snake Man is like speed, but also clairvoyance. Like his speed is kind of like is boosted because of that, but Ichigo just seems raw faster. And that was one of the things that I've had to argue with a lot of people about Katakuri, because Katakuri, he's powerful, but he's not durable, and we know that for a fact because he was bleeding from normal like base attacks from Luffy, but that's because he's not meant to take damage. There are characters who literally throughout their career don't take damage. You have someone like Nineheart from Spriggan 12. He's a full-on caster. He's a full-on summoner. His entire fighting style is not made to take on damage. Lucy's the only exception to summoners we know of that is like very durable because she didn't want to just hide behind her spirit. She wanted to fight with them. Taking a lot of damage obviously made her body very strong over time. Whereas where was I going with this? Whereas we don't have that with Nineheart. He's very frail. Whereas oh my god, where was I going with this shit? Oh yeah, whereas with Katakuri, because his Devil Fruit makes him essentially an intangible. He's a pseudo-intangible. So he can, meld into Mochi to move parts of his body. So a punch will go right through him. You miss. And then his because of his level of observation haki, he could see slightly in the future. And he could extra dodge your attack, but also knows where to counterattack. He's entirely based off of doing damage and not getting hit. He's completely based around dodging, counterattacking. You gotta keep in mind for some characters like that. That's always one of those things that it's always been like, I have to explain it, which I can see why people would skip over that because showing main character battle stuff, he's have to be that durable. And he never took any of Luffy's big attacks, like King Kong gun is his biggest attack, biggest power-wise that we know of. And he never got hit by that, so we don't know if he fully can, compare to Luffy's level of power. I don't think he took any of Luffy's, big damage attack. I don't remember if he took Kong gun, but he took, third gear attacks and fucking... But he was getting hit. He was, matching them, but he was taking damage from, base Luffy attacks. Just no gears. Rex Volume 1. I know, it sucks. I can't help it. What's your opinions on the Volume 7 outfits? Ruby look great. I mean, design-wise, they look cool. I'm hoping they don't fuck up any of the characters any further. I'm really, really hoping that Adam isn't dead. I really hope they don't prey into, the paranoia that a lot of fans have because of... Ruby has one of the largest, probably percentages of, SJW people in their fandom because of the shippers. And the shippers, obviously, are super loud and annoying. If they somehow manage to turn Yang and Blake into lesbians just cuz, voiding out literally the fact that the first thing we find out about Yang is that she has a hankering for dudes, and Blake's entire conflict with Adam, as well as her new relationship with Sun, will be destroyed and for nothing, and purely for shippers, which is stupid. Which would make no sense. It'd be so dumb to ruin character like aspects purely to please shippers. And that's the problem and the worry that a lot of people have currently at Ruby because of the level of the shipper influence. I think the only show that like is worse in that regard for like their fandom percentage being that like cancerous is Steven Universe and how bad their fan base is. I think that's like around their line. And then for like not the anime group isn't as bad. Like for I was gonna say like for anime, like they have like fucking My Hero Academia has a bad SJW fan base, but theirs isn't even close to as bad as Steven Universe or Ruby and like how obnoxious they are. They're bad, but they aren't even close to Steven Universe bad is like fucking bad. Like it's crazy when your biggest like when you look at a series like Steven Universe and you're like, what is it most known for? And they're like, oh, it's got songs. Top 3 would be like songs, and it's got a lot of like weird progression like characters to have lesbian space rocks. But also the fan base threatens to kill people for like making characters look less fat or dark skinned or doing stuff in their fan art. It's like, what the fuck? That's one of those like always confusing things. Like I always like understood how like you can get hostile over shipping because there's like characters, you know, you see like I really like this character and I really like this character, and there's like the level of it's like we don't care if they even interact ever. They're gonna ship them, and then there's like, oh, they have good synergy character, people ship them, and then there's like you mess with my ship or character design and I will threaten to murder you, and I'm just like, what the how is that possible? It's such a weird thing. Let me see. Not at me. You've got a very interesting take on Toku's motivations, being connected to Oxaram, perhaps 5 Dragon Gods, or some sort of seal in Oxaram, and Alistair for whatever reason trying to free him. Or potentially she could be trying to get herself ready. Similar to how Zareth built the Alvarez Empire in order to combat Acrologia. Maybe what she's doing with Libierus and the Dragon Gods is in order to build up in order to fight Oxaram. We don't know. Or Eleftheria. Eleftheria might be involved. They might be connected. Who the hell knows? There's a lot of questions there. He does wear a witch hat. Let me see. Not at me. Light novels canon. It's up in the air. It depends. Your top 5 chapters from this week. Oh my god. I have to think. I really liked Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen was good. Attack on Titan was good. Black Clover was really good. Chainsaw Man was really good. And I don't think it counts, but maybe Neji Maki Kage, which actually I really liked Eden 02. If you've ever read Neji Maki Kage, there's an author I really like who does, oh man, there's a chapter or something, so I'm gonna open a tab to it. But it's a really good series, and I really like the author, and one of his series has finally got a fan translation group, so I finally get to fucking read it. So luckily there's that, and I really like that chapter this week. But there's a lot of good stuff this week. I think this was a really solid week. Next week's gonna be good too. Fairy Tail next week. We get to see the closeout of the biggest arc that's taken up a third of Black Clover. What else in the week? Furthermore, this Jujutsu Kaisen arc that I'm so invested. Oh my god, I haven't even talked about Jujutsu Kaisen yet. Fucking Jujutsu Kaisen is such an entertaining series. Like this is, so in this chapter we got, for one, an interesting you got a really nice weebery trivia kind of like summary of a question. They're like, oh, they want to keep this guy alive in order to ascend to a new level because of his immortality. They think that him getting fixing his body is soiling, is diluting its purity, and we're trying to figure out how to fix that. And it's like fucking Satoru like summarized it. It's like, no, we would rather him become metal. They don't want him to become Metal Greymon. They'd rather him become Skull Greymon. And I'm like, that fucking Digimon reference. And it's like, what's funny is I feel like the author is aware of like the generation group that is currently like reading his series, to know that it's like my generation, because of the fact that they're able to look at like just old enough to like get that reference. Like that's right in my range. I just thought that was a really interesting thing. And then the new villains look cool. They have that kind of like bad guy Hugo Boss look to him, like Nazis or Quincy's. That's the first thing. I thought that was actually really funny, because when I saw them, the first thing I thought of was Quincy's and not Nazis, the way that they were dressed because of Bleach. But like really cool character design. We got some good action going on. There's a lot of fun stuff happening this week, and I'm stoked to see how it follows up next week. And this is again solid as hell week. And even like again like I like the One Piece chapter. I like the My Hero Academia chapter. Black Claw. I don't think there was any that I disliked. And then if you include no, because it would be because it was Monday. Eden Zero and Seven Deadly Sins both came out. The Seven Deadly Sins chapter is really good too. I don't think there were any chapters that I disliked this week, to be perfectly honest, just thinking about it. I like not even like didn't care for. I think I liked all of them. I was very happy with a lot of series this week, so that's good. I finally have an idea for my shonen rival, Water Dragon compared to Tenka's Fire Dragon. Going pretty bare roots. Yeah, it's understandable. Should you go for I'll just give a description. Not much. So in one of the stories, I don't know if I'll ever work on it, but like the main character is fire, because fire's been my element as long as I can remember as well. Like I think the earliest things I can think of were Pokemon Silver, which was the first Pokemon game I ever played. I got Cyndaquil, and then obviously the TV show Pokemon, Charmander, becoming Charizard, fucking awesome. And my favorite Power Ranger it's still my favorite Power Ranger, Leo from Lost Galaxy, and randomly having fire powers on top of his normal Power Rangers abilities. Fire's always been my favorite element, so it's like main character. If I ever made a series, like my main series, like if I was a successful author, I had 5 series. This would be my first one. That would be like what I want my masterpiece to be, like kind of like the culmination of full effort. The main character would be Fire, my favorite. But his rival, I was like thinking of what to do, and I went crazy. I went like not like an opposing element. I went with like a variation, kind of like a corrupted version in a way, like a almost like I guess manufactured really is what you could say, or just like tampered with is Fireworks, because it was like the villain has this double on like fucked up way to like now he's killing people with fireworks, but also you got 2 heat based. And you have like natural fire, and then this like performance version of it through fireworks, through human tampering, have turned a natural element into a light show, and then like because also heat and explosion, it could be used to kill and hurt. That's always been one of my favorite things. And if I somehow ever got through to do the series, oh my god, it would be so much fun just to see that entire interaction. Because one of the things I actually really like is having the main villain have a synergy with the main character. I always thought that was always really interesting too, and the way that works. Who's stronger, Boruto or Kid Naruto? I think Boruto's stronger as a kid. Yeah, because the karma boost is pretty strong, and then like he doesn't have that issue where he can he has that boosted form right now, and then you have like Naruto would be up to like One Tails, but he could absorb the One Tails chakra. But One Tail's chakra also hurts Naruto in the process, so he wouldn't be able to, if you put them both in their power forms, Boruto's going to outlive Naruto. But I feel like Boruto is set to be stronger, because Naruto had a 9-tailed fox in him. He had the strongest fraction of the 10 tails, but fucking Boruto has he has Momoshiki. He has like one of the full-on Otsutsuki people in him, and so he's his inner spirit kind of character, like Naruto as Kurama and fucking Boruto as Momoshiki. Momoshiki's way more powerful. He's already set to become more powerful, and he's already got a larger variety in jutsu that he knows too. Because Naruto is much more based on like all around like combinational physical workings of like shadow clones and how he can utilize them. And it wasn't until he learned Rasengan that he really had any like other things other than like straight raw melee. But other than that, I'd say that like Boruto just has like a much more impressive start to him. But that's because he has a much more like calm world to live in because of Naruto's efforts. They should make a new Rave Master anime. Maybe that'd be really cool. I don't know. I would say like leave it as is. It doesn't need a remake, but it never finished, so I'd be fine with the remake because then they could actually finish it. Patry versus Pain. I'd go with Patry because he's got a much his arsenal. Like Pain's arsenal really comes down to like the Deva path, and then is it Which is, I think it's is it the Predapath? No, the Predapath is the summoning one. The Deva Path, and then the one that absorbs Chakra. Those are like his pretty much his cornerstone paths. But light speed movement, and then like would be too much for the Chakra absorbing path to absorb, and you put him down like similar range on like Almighty Push and Almighty Pull to like. Patri's like fully charged. Was it light swords or light spear, or was it light arrows of judgment? I think it was light arrows of judgment. Similar range, but he can dodge at light speed. They cannot. So I'd put it more on Patri at the moment. Yeah, that's what I'm going at right now. Auto versus Chronophage, or Endless versus Chronophage. Acnologia would fucking. The thing is with the Chronophage, Acnologia would eat Endless. The Chronophage, he has way more range, but Acnologia wouldn't be affected by it because he could eat Time Fuckery, and he's eaten a dimension of it, so I feel like he could eat the Chronophage. I feel like he could do it. It just seems like right down his alley. I love the Red Light District, of the Kimetsu no Yaiba. That works awesome. All the fight scenes in Demon Slayer are really good. Yeah, that's great fighting choreography. Who has a better fights, My Hero Academia or Black Clover? I think they're both pretty good. I think they're both pretty solid. You get lots of like ones that are just action and like has lots of nice choreography. Bakugo has definitely the best fighting choreography scenes, I think, in My Hero Academia, just because like the oddity of the way he moves, because of explosions midair. He can change directions of like his attacks and stuff. Deku obviously has a lot of really good ones too. I think Bakugo's is more interesting, just the way he's able to become so mobile. And then Black Clover has a lot of good action ones too. I think they're both pretty good, to be perfectly honest. I like Black Clover's characters more, but speaking from a oh my god, speaking from I almost said it's objective. Speaking from an objective standpoint, I think that they're both pretty solid. I think they're both really solid series. Taking out my preferences, out of the set. I'm much more interested in seeing what Kimetsu no Yaiba is going to be like around the same line as like 200s, because it has great fighting choreography. All the fights have a lot of really interesting meanings behind them, like Yuji like wondering what exactly is like a reason to die or a reason to kill. He's had a lot of like interesting emotional developments, and like when we saw recently with Kukisaki, how they were like, he still feels very he still has this kind of like deep feeling of like having to kill another person, because there's like with him, he wasn't just like killing another person, but also like he empathized with Esso when he saw his brother die, because he was crying, because he had feelings for him. He wasn't just this raw bad guy. He cared about his brother, and it's like the way that each of them seem to come out with, there's always a development. It's something really cool. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is going to have a really interesting, ongoing one. Oh my god, some of my favorite scenes, though, of recent action, though, has still been in Chainsaw Man, just because there's been... Chainsaw Man, it just has such awesome action panels. I love how that was about Black Clover and My Hero Academia, and it turned into, like... I think they're both really good and solid in these areas, but... Oh, these other series! I love those as well! Who knows how... everyone knows how Black Asta works. What do you mean? For My Academia more invested. Yeah, that's alright. It's all opinion based. I don't like most of Black Clover's. Yeah, I love a lot of Black Clover's characters. I like Black Clover's characters more than My Hero Academia's characters. That's just my opinion, so it's a whatever thing. My Hero Academia's are better, a little more emotion. I don't know about that, Larry Jones. It just depends, because some of it feels like it feels like a little bit ham-fisted. It's like Endeavor's whole thing, there was so much, like, I think over extra dramatized like pieces of him turning around, but him like turning around with such a him doing stuff that was so dramatized, but like him turning around like was like dramatized by one character, and everyone else was like chill. But it's like, no, I understand why this dude's pissed off. Endeavor's been a piece of shit for years, and you got like 90% of the characters are treated like, it's not a big deal. It's like, no, you should all be fucking pissed off. I like a lot of the way that the characters are being handled. Black Clover, I think, like this last chapter, just like Yami's key point of just like breaking through, getting Mana Zone, was just remembering, the man that just died, that gave everything for the kingdom, but also was a father figure to him, going, and it's gonna be really cool to see that reflection of how it comes off of him. We'll see. Again, though, it's kind of hard because like you can say like more emotion, but I don't know. I guess it's because I'm not as invested in a lot of the My Hero Academia characters as I am with Black Clover. But that's entirely the thing, though. You could have a moment that's big for a character, but if you're not invested in them, it might not have as much an impact on you as a a reader or a watcher than another person. But you could say the same thing about a character you're invested in that another person's not invested in. It's just how it works. It's not a big deal. Deku breaking his body and pushing himself to a limit is always badass. Yeah, both of them do that all the time. They're always about overcoming their limits. What fighter more interesting beats you or Academia? I just answered that question. I actually always say Clover. He's never say anything is better. That's just my opinion. I just said it's my opinion. Oh my god, shut up, Spider. You're ridiculous. Get your one opinion highway out of my face. Neville gotten out his magic probably would have been able to cover most of the kingdom. Yeah, probably. It was just kept oozing. Tabata's playing the long game, should go on a greatest. It's because he is. You're ridiculous if you think he's not. I mean, he literally has everything in the series has happened in one kingdom. He's got 3 more set up, possibly more with the Land of the Sun and fucking other continents. You don't know. It's in 201 and fucking thing. There's only been, what, like 30 or 40 chapters, like, dipping into the fucking Diamond Kingdom. Probably not even 40. It's probably, like, what, like I said, like, I think it's like 30. It's, like, been almost all the Clover Kingdom. I like the Boruto manga got really interesting in the last chapter. Legitimately, the last chapter got me invested in the manga, because I like the concept that it was used. I think it's really cool. That the Otsutsuki people come in pairs, and that Kaguya was just one of 2, and that this dude is like her other half. I think that'll be really cool, because it's also like the fact that Kaguya isn't dead. She's sealed in that moon in her own dimension. So that's obviously like a really fucked up trap, but fucking it's still possible for a character like this dude to eventually get to him, and then they fuse into one, being kind of like Momoshiki did, and that could be the next big film. That'd be really cool. I think that'd be awesome, actually, as a way for Boruto. I'm interested now. The anime I don't really care for because it has like 99% filler. Who do you think is better, Gogeta or Vegito in terms of character? I like Gogeta more. I like Gogeta's. He's willing to make. He's like more of a pun kind of guy, but also badass, straight to the point. Vegito is entertaining. He's like funny. He fucks around too much. But Gogeta was like, he's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you until you're dead. But while doing it, I'm gonna drop wisecracks and stuff at you. I just think he's a lot cooler. I like his design more. Plus, like, their ace moves. You have like what fucking Vegito's. He makes an energy sword, and then he's got the fucking final Kamehameha. It's just like, oh, final flash into Kamehameha. Whereas fucking Gogeta has, you compare the two, he's got Stardust Breaker, Soul Punisher, whichever naming version you prefer. And then he's got fucking Big Bang Kamehameha. And Big Bang Kamehameha, like, comparing the two of them, Big Bang Kamehameha just looks so much cooler being formed. And then, Stardust Breaker does soul damage, which is awesome, and it looks just really cool. Good. I just like Gogeta more. The anime's boring for it. Yeah, the Boruto anime I don't care for. What do I think about the Fire Force first episode? I talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream. I really liked it. I thought it was good. I liked the way it felt more like Shinra was a new cast member, a new member adding to the force. Like, again, I mentioned like Scrubs. It's like the first episode of Scrubs. Like, JD was the main character, but it was like, every other character knows each other, that he's getting into this world. And he just is, the new guy, which I thought was really cool. There was a lot of, like, feeling emphasis on the new guy. That for Shinra, even though he was the main character. I like that a lot. Like Sasuke Kawaki, Koch and Koji. The only things that interest me in Boruto. That's fine. Oh god, I skipped over some stuff. Gogeta's serious, no bullshit. I like him more. So because 2 manga arcs. Yeah, the anime just does like too much fucking filler. Not at me, not at me, not at me. Not at me. Fire Magic Users and Black Clover ranked from strongest to weakest. Well, Mereoleona's the strongest, and the weakest is probably Magna. I mean, super easy. It probably was like fucking Mereoleona top, Foil Leon, fucking Leopold, Magna. Magna would definitely be at the bottom because he's not power, he's variety. I'd rather watch Black Clover anime or Boruto. Black Clover anime. Obviously, I like Black Clover more.
My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Boruto, Eden Zero, Ruby, Touchstone, Leon, Magna. Yeah, Mereon is definitely the strongest out of the fire people at the moment. Shoot, forgot. Oh, and yeah, Fars and Fauna. Mereon is definitely stronger than both of them, though. The manga started between 2010 and 2020. Holy shit, I'm far behind. Do you know the upset of the Princess and Saber 8 art fighters? Oh, it's cool. I don't mind. They're support people. They're important to the entire layout of like their society. They can still be important. I don't mind. That's only also if they're samurai. We don't know what else they could easily be like. Well, get mechs and shit. They don't have to be good fighters. I like On. She seems cool. I like her. Universe Zero is a good fight. Yeah, I like it too. Universe Toll. It's definitely one of my favorite fights of the year. I think the music added to a lot. Rax, any more AOT memes in the near future? Maybe. I'd have to look back at some stuff. I have some ideas. We'll get there. I gotta keep him a surprise. Patriot best boy. Rax might be able to catch up. He's like 40 minutes behind. No, I'm catching up. I'm speed reading now. No, still, remember, Sinbad. I'll finish Magic one day. Umora is strong enough to lift Shiki on her back. She's pretty powerful. Has anyone here seen the first episode? Oh, Vinland Saga. I haven't watched the episodes of Vinland Saga yet. I'll have to look that up. Saitama versus Shaggy. What? Oh, Shaggy would win. Shiki's a little guy. Shiki's still pretty strong right now. Yeah, Asta and Shinra have the same voice actor. Memes are unstoppable. Memes are good stuff. Who are stronger, Asta or Aaron? Asta is way stronger. So easy, damn. Oh, I'm behind. Depends on EC how it takes to fight. Oh yeah, that's possible. I'll tell it right now. Aaron would sure win first fist fight with no powers though. I mean, I don't know about that. Asta's been able to take like captain level attacks because his body's so durable. Like I feel like that's beyond what Aaron is capable of outputting. The level of power to keep up with a captain. Obviously, he's captain. Like he's only captain. I like formidable and durability, but that's it. He's only just because he's a durable fucker. Also, it's faster than Aaron. Yeah, he was at fucking light. He reacts at light speed. Yeah, I don't think Aaron's dead. I'm telling you, Eric, Zeke and Aaron will fuse. What's up, Home Slice Heroes? How do you feel about Shiki and Amor's relationship? I feel either a great brother sister. I think they're gonna be. I want it to be more like in Tokyo Shinobi Squad, the way that Jin and what's her name, Palpalon are, because they're more just like they're really close. They can they'll crack jokes at each other. They're just buds. No, I like that. I think that'd be really cool to see them go at it. They're just homies. Keep scrolling. I'm catching up. I said without powers. Asta doesn't have powers. He's just physically fucking strong as hell. He's like Luffy. Luffy's body is small, but he's able to pick up like fucking 700-ton boulders and shit. Vikings and Black Clover, yeah, that'd be really cool. Oh my god, I really love the internship. Alright, that's a good one. I think Toriko should get it. Toriko, I wish would get a new anime. They called adding emphasis and writing. Trick doesn't mean. Yeah, Rex, next week or week after, I'm gonna be on the stream. Don't fall. Listen, I need to engage with the audience. I gotta get more more activity. Activity means more frequent people, more conversation. More people mean more people want to go up. And if they are so nice as they want to give me super chats ever, I would be very appreciative of it. But you don't have to. It's purely just accepted, not demanded. But anyway, who is stronger, Nozzle or Nozzle's way stronger right now, for sure. You gotta remind that question. That guy was like, trying to tell me, oh, why would Nozzle's mercury magic be poisonous? It's like, that's how mercury works, dude. God damn it. I lost my place. Where was I? No, I'm so far behind. Holy shit. Oh my god. How am I this far behind? Oh my god. Oh, I found it. I think it would be the transforming. I don't know what that is. Oh, is a better MC, Asta or Deku? I like Asta more. I can understand why people like Deku more, but I like Asta a lot more. Asta's had like one character. No, Asta's had a couple. The thing is, the gap that you gotta keep in mind though is Deku's entire like point right now is you're seeing a weakling turn into a strong person. That's not the point of Asta's character. The point of Asta's character is to see the journey that he goes through for, become Wizard King and like all the stuff that happens, how he handles situations, what he takes away from stuff. It's two entirely different kind of themes. I think
that I think they're both fine. I just prefer Asta. I can see the point though if you wanted to, like, which ones had more character development, but that's because that's the point of Deku. Like that's the point of like entirely what's going on right now for his character. No, you know, I'm just gonna. It's not getting better at fighting. It's when your fucking senses and like the entire way that you think alters. Again, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're referencing. But when I talk about like Natsu like planning fights ahead, that's not like, oh, he got better at fighting. Like, oh, fucking Goku gets better at fighting. It's, oh, he realized that he like something about his entire like way he's doing things is wrong. You should think ahead. Like it's a completely different change in like your brain. It's literally an entirely format alteration. That's ridiculous. It's not even remotely the same as like, yeah, I learned if I do an extra kick spin that I'll hit this guy. That's not the same thing. That's like combat adaptivity. That's like straight on character like realization. Don't be silly, Spider. Come on. Okay, where's my mouse? There it is. Yeah, you cry. Oh, yeah, the stuff with the moon, I like that. Favorite moment is Asta. The terms of character development is his speech at Langris in the aftermath of the battle. It was wrong. Yeah, that was really cool. I like that. And pretty much setting up Shiki to fight the Warden. Yeah, that'll be cool. I like this guy. He looks cool. Did you just say that they are faster than Luffy? No way, bro. One Piece is not even close to as fast as Black Clover. But Patriot is a character moment. Oh, yeah, it's going to be good. Lol, Luffy is dodging light speed attacks as well. No, he's not. Luffy doesn't dodge light speed attacks. Unless you think fucking pre-skip One Piece, like, supernovas can fucking keep up with, like, a serious Kizaru and Admirals, which is retarded. That's not true. We saw Luffy when he went up against an actual Admiral, like a serious Admiral, and he was so fast that Luffy couldn't react to it. And yet Ace could. That's ridiculous. That, like, it's silly. One Piece is not. One Piece legitimately has one of the lowest power levels of a lot of the big series, like, especially because it is the biggest series. Like Bleach is more powerful in it, Naruto is more powerful in it, Black Clover is more powerful in it, Fairy Tail is more powerful in it. Seven Deadly Sins is fucking right on the edge of passing up. Fucking Fire Force is more powerful than One Piece. You silly. Actually, it looks like Samurai 8 is already. It might be more powerful depending on if that distance comment is the same. I should look that chapter up. Let me look it up really quick. Because it was like 5 kilometers away from the planet that Hachimaru was on, but like it still looked far away, so it would mean that the planet is way smaller. Maybe it was kilometers instead, and like the translation group just fucked that up. I'm going to look that really quick, just because I really want to know about that. Because obviously it would be the gap of a huge power. Oh my god, I like laughed in the middle of that huge power jump in the series. Let's see. 12, wait. This 12 Daishaku? What the fuck is a Daishaku? God damn it, Japanese. Daishaku. It's probably like the same distance. Oh yeah, it's like the same thing. Oh, what's a Daishaku? I don't know. Distance. 5 kilometers. Planet's not as big as people think it is. I don't think Asta's boring. I like Asta. No, Noelle should not have been the main character. Because Noelle's already got a lot of her fucking base character development out of the way. It's fucking, if you're gonna ruin it, that'd be like just straight up getting to endgame Yuno right away. We don't need it. It's not that much of a shift. I like Asta as the main character. Obviously, it's working for him. He's the fucking most popular character in the series. Look at us. There's just bickering now going on. Listen, we can all like whichever Asta or Deku we like more. I'll settle this right now. I like Natsu way more than both of them combined. So fucking quit it. Let's get along. No, I don't fucking care. If you guys want to argue, you can fucking argue. I don't care. I don't give a shit about that. As long as, in the end, people are just don't care about the conceding to others' opinions. As long as you're good. You gotta keep in mind, at the end of the day, you like the characters because you like them, not because other people like them, you know. I'm just reading over all these people, and like, thank you, Jason Keeper, for having a question instead of arguing with other people. But do what you fucking want, whatever. The reason I said Acting was like the best fights because all the characters played, especially yeah, it had a really good. I really liked that moment because it had a feeling like all the other arcs are leading up to this. I thought that was really cool. I look forward to seeing that in the anime. Then there will be another Fairy Tail movie to come out after the final season is concluded. It depends. There's a possibility. It depends on whether or not they plan on doing 100 Years Quest animated, because I feel like if you were gonna keep going after this, you just go to 100 Years Quest. You wouldn't just stop there. There'd be no point of like, let's do another movie that takes place after this, but let's also do, let's just not do Final Year, 100 Years Quest. I think that'd be strange. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know why you would do that. Or for 10 months to even have a chance at even killing him instantly. I think there'd be another fairy tale movie. Oh, I read that. Doesn't make him interesting. I like Deku and Asta. I just like him more. If Jump Force had an Infinity War type of setting, who do you think would be ended up dying by the Thanos finger snap? None of the fucking main characters. They don't survive. Oh, like Jump Force. I don't know. It'd probably be the main team. Like it'd just be whichever the main characters were the most popular. They'd be the ones to live. Yugi just wouldn't care. He'd just be like, this shit isn't gonna work on me. Like the better, but Izuku never. I like them both, but Izuku never really gets annoying to me. Like Asta. You told me a different story, Larry Jones. Don't lie here. How was Deku better than Asta? Oh God, I'm gonna skip over all your guys' death. I'm sorry if you hear my neighbor's kid in the background. Dragon Force Natsu with 7 elements was able to beat an immobile, motion sick, half power base Acnologia. And the fact that they went, it took a lot of stuff to take him out, because I thought that was the thing about that I thought was really cool is it kept Acnologia's hype status. So now when we get to Acnologia level characters in 100 Years Quest, they're still huge threats. Like we see that the Fairy Tail core team all combined like was nothing to even a half power Merc, and so like clearly it makes Acnologia still seem so much more powerful. No, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. You guys are all arguing. I gotta get caught up. That is a true fact, though. That is actually true. Deku gets a lot of things like, yeah, he obviously had to work to be able to. He had to work to be able to get his power, but like Asta works way harder than him. Asta works way harder than Deku. That's not comparable. Like Deku obviously works hard. But, like, he only started working hard recently after he got the power. Asta has been working hard, like, his whole life, just fucking getting jacked. But again, that's again, if you want to take that option. Oh, my God. I just see people arguing now. Waiting for more comments to me and not people arguing at each other. Hold on. Scrolling down. Who's your least favorite member of Team Ruby? Yeah, Blake's bottom for me. Not a huge fan of Blake. She's pretty boring. Just if people like all grumpy over this. This is pretty funny. Scrolling down. Magidramon is way more Nightmare Fuel than Skullgramon. Yeah, for sure. Magidramon's awesome. Magidramon's one of my favorite Digimon. Gray. Speaking of Rex, gonna be surprised when he catches up. I don't care whether or not I'm trolling Rex. I don't care. I mean, you can like what you want. Just Rex, did you hear the last Saiki volume flop? Did it really? Did it really flop? Are you serious? Fuck, that's bad. That's a bad news, because that's what I was hoping on, that the Volume 1 sales do really well, and then maybe the manga... It doesn't seem like it's getting canceled yet, though, so I don't know. Maybe this is going to be one that they just kind of, like, let go on because they have hopes for it. I don't know. But that's unfortunate. I haven't looked at volume sales recently. What did it get? So I also want to look, because I think the third volume of Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest just went out, so I want to see how it does. I gotta look into that soon. Leo Lost Galaxy. Oh my God, this is really far behind. Mr. National Dex. Talk about Pokemon. So yeah, Power Rangers. Leo's my favorite. Hero of Magic. It's a great anime. As I was, you guys are arguing still. It's called Grand Magic Games Urza without Nakagami versus Grand Magic Games Mira. I don't. I feel like I'd give it to Mira in that situation, to be perfectly honest, just because she would have her Halfus. Assuming, and she'd have her C-Tree, so she could just fucking... I feel like she just has way more going on if you don't give Urza her Nakagami armor. Not the best ranger of the franchise would last as long as it did. Fucking Tommy's cool. Tommy's the fan favorite. My favorite is still Leo and Magna Defender. I think it's gonna get huge shit fit. Oh, why would I? Only 30 minutes. I'm getting there. Nezuko or Noelle. I like Noelle more. I like Rave Master over Fairy Tail Star X. That's okay. I like Fairy Tail more than Rave Master and Eden Zero. I don't think Rave Master was better written. I think there's still some issues in there that just kind of like were dropped plot lines. Like I remember when what was it when Raisha had that dream and that guy was like, you will, you know, did you learn anything in this 20,000 years you've been banished in this dimension? And she forgot how to talk.
because she hadn't spoken in 20,000 years. And then it's like, well, I guess 20,000 more years, I'll be back. And it's like, nothing actually followed up on that now that I remember. That's one of those things I was so confused about. It's pretty shitty.
But I think Fairy Tail's better. I don't agree. I think Fairy Tail's much better written. I think the layout of... I think there was a much more severe threat in some of the areas with Demon Card because, like, you got that really nice, like, display of them going around and just slaughtering people en masse. But I think that, for one, Alvarez was a better built-up empire. They had a much more, I think, threatening presence in terms of, like, them versus the main characters. I would say, like, vicious presence, obviously, and threatening presence are two different things. But Zareth, I think, is better than Lucia by miles. The Endless isn't as interesting as Acnologia. And even some of the stuff, like, Hades is far more interesting than Doryu. Margear's more interesting than Hardner. I just think it's a much better story. I still love Rave Master, but I think Fairy Tail's just so much better. I think there's a lot of stuff people just skip over and don't pay attention to. But, you know, that's just me. Depends on the ships. Depends entirely on it. If it's, like, built up to make sense on purpose, and it just feels like... I feel like Rave tackled some of Naruto's themes. Plot points better than Naruto, like the clash of two bloodlines in the world of peace stuff. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty good. Talk about Nezuko. 103. Nezuko hides backpack Nezuko. I'm catching up. I'm almost there. I'm almost caught up. All Might's retirement was really needed to really begin Everett's character. I feel like
they're gonna have to, like, super hype up Endeavor's or All Might's death because they didn't kill him off in the scene when he lost his powers. So they're gonna have to give him, like, a really good sacrifice moment when he dies, because he's gotta die before that story ends. There's no fucking way he lives throughout the entire stories. I am the most reasonable person. I'm always reasonable. I'm the most reasonable all times. And Ruby, watch White Rose become canon season 7. That'll be stupid. Ruby's already, like, starting to track off. Like, the last volume was okay overall. It obviously had the best episode in the series, but, like, a lot of the arc was, like, boring as fuck. Like, they had Salem's flashback, which was a really good episode, very interesting, and a lot of good lore stuff and a lot of good, like, character build. But then they had, like, 5 episodes of them just fucking around with the stupid old ladies and the giant robot, and then some dumbass fucking a big colossal fucking Grim. I just didn't care. Like, that whole part, I was like, oh, cool, maybe we'll have some good actions and a, kaiju. Fancy. But other than that, it's like, I wasn't invested in what was going on. Like, I just don't really care about the characters. And, I don't know, I'm starting to wane from Ruby a little bit. It just makes me sad, because I've been following it since the very first trailer came out. I'm hoping, like, a lot of, like, the fear, though, does come from, like, the idea of shippers ruining the series. Like, if that happens, then I'll just be done. There'll be no recovery at that point. They can have it. Well, Gray is a trap. Gray is not a trap. Makes her best girl and best boy. No. Rex Long game quote is a joke. For Endeavor, it's a character. I like Endeavor. The thing is I liked Endeavor switching. I think the reaction, though, this was, like, it was dumb. Because, like, one of his sons was freaking out over it, and then, like, the other people were like, why are you freaking out? It's like, he was overly dramatic, but I feel like every character should have been overly dramatic because, like, Endeavor was a piece of shit until recently. And the author's just, like, that's one of the things I think Horikoshi is fucking up on. Because he displayed him up as this bad guy. Like, not a villain, but, like, this piece of shit dude. And then he decided to switch him over because he's the number one hero. And I like Endeavor's side of things, but I think how other characters are reacting, the people close to him, I think is where it's a little bit unappealing. Because it just feels like that part is being brushed under the rug. But, whatever. I didn't know you went that way to flame it. That way. Oh, that's not me. Fuck. I was like, who the fuck are you talking about? Sure that Shigaraki is still standing after getting launched by Reach Destro. Yeah, his body's all torn the fuck up. The thing is, my opinion on Shigaraki is very warped. Because, like, I like his character. I found him interesting, but, like, until recently he was very boring. I just like the concept of him, but obviously he's getting a lot of character development and progression right now, which is cool. But
I don't understand the point of making him more OP, because like then he's just got one-shot powers. Like, is he gonna one-shot Deku when he fights? But then Deku, like, now he's somehow durable enough that he'll be able to take punches from Deku. I don't know. There's a lot of questions coming up. I don't know. Power of Will is a strong one, but My Hero Academia is way better. Villain. Well, Black Clover didn't have a villain until this arc. Like, the demon is the first actual villain, because like the Diamond Kingdom, they're only bad guys by the perspective of a Clover Kingdom. Same way with the Elves. The Elves was very shaky because for a while it seemed like the Clover were the villains. Which would be really interesting, but that wasn't the case. You got two stories, you got two sides of the same story, and from that, you knew there were holes in them. It was revealed who the first first villain is. The first real villain, I think, in Black Clover, just raw villain, is this dude, the Word Devil, and so like it's different story. I think he's more of a threat, like a bolstering presence than anyone in any of the villains in My Hero Academia, but like in terms of like depth to the character, obviously he's not. His isn't depth to the character. His is the build up and the threatening presence. Two different kind of ways you want to go about this character, versus someone like Gentle. Gentle was like, he couldn't even take Deku 1v1. He couldn't even take Deku 1v2, like with La Brava on his team. But like his character was much more of just like going into like the meaning behind him and stuff. Whole different scenarios. It depends, No, I don't care if you guys troll in the comments. Fairy Tail's not a cult. I love Fairy Tail. I got a lot of passion for the series. Rokoshi is about to do his own version of Thing versus Hulk. I think Gigantu is about to trash Redestro. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna get to 100% and he's gonna be like, yes, I can do it, and then Gigantu is gonna crush him. I do really like Asta. Asta's a good kid. I like him. He's a good lad. Good lad. I already know how Spider trolls. I've gotten too accustomed to his schemes. I'm getting there. I'm almost caught up. Where was I? I've got like only a minute of comments left. Oh, Larry Jones gave me a super chat. You're the nicest. That boss, Larry Jones. I knew it. I'll read it. He says, there you go, Raxy boy. Thanks, Larry Jones. You're the best. I hope that you spice for all eternity. Keep your soul the most seasoned. Who's my favorite Ruby character? Crow. It's between Crow and Jean. Jean's character makes me angry though, because 90% of the time he's treated as a comic relief character, but he's got a lot of character development. He's got depth to his character. He's got a really cool design. He's a very likable character too. But he can be funny, but he can be serious, but they treat him way too much as a comedic relief character, and I hate that. It's like Bolin and Sokka from Avatar, both from Avatar. Both of them ended up like the best characters out of their whole team because of the fact that, they had really good characters that developed further. Then on top of that became awesome. Like Sokka became this really good strategic war general, and he became very good at close combat. And then here's fucking Bolin, who like one of two lava benders, like probably the coolest bending in Avatar. And both of them were just awesome. That's kind of like where I feel like Jean will be. And then Crow was just fucking awesome, really good story, and into like the character. Seeing as Draken Joe can change the properties of something, Sun Jewel gives him a huge advantage against. Well, it shouldn't be anything because he just used Alchemist. It doesn't matter if it's a jewel. When I first watched Fruits Basket, I don't watch Simpler. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't watch Fruits Basket, but I know what that is. And then Vinland Saga to watch. Spider, that's a cruel thing to tell me. You give me $20, but 15 is too much. You call back with pain. Thank you, though. I appreciate you, Larry Jones, and your $2. Blue Flames or Black Flames? Blue Flames. Blue Flames are cool. Oh, and Rax understands the Asta versus Deku fight was not a fight at all. I know that they wouldn't even fight. Asta would wreck the shit out of them. We all friends here. Everyone should be friends. Tengo's smart, but above average. But he needs to control himself in the face of problems. Rax, that's good. Rax, you heard of Simple Gear? I haven't. That's my He-Max Dragon Ball X Gundam. I'll have to check it out, maybe. Can we ever see Asta go full demon? If so, how else do you think we were getting to that? It'll be a while, but eventually. I want to see I really want to see the anti-magic demon take over and just have an interaction with people. I want that so bad because it would just be such like so, I guess tantalizing, mesmerizing scene to see this guy who's been since chapter 1, but hasn't. He's had like 5 pages of dialogue with one person. What Luffy could definitely dodge. No, he can't. That's a. So the thing is Kuma's lasers aren't considered light speed because they explode for some reason, and it would be kind of silly if fucking post time skip base Luffy can dodge attacks from Kizaru, which is ridiculous. But Kizaru's light has always been kind of like on the fence of whether people treat it as light speed or not, because it doesn't seem to act like give properties of real light. At the same time, it does. That's one of the things that people always take into account when it comes to like special powers. When you have something like that, like lightning, Laxus. It's like Laxus. Laxus is a lightning dragon slayer. Lightning dragons, by default, need to be able to like, be fast enough to catch lightning in order to eat it. Whereas a light dragon isn't. They don't need to be fast as light. They literally can just lay out in the sunshine. And Sting, where he has, okay, well, what about Sting? Sting's was called a light, or a laser when he used his roar, and Natsu dodged it, so Natsu should be light speed at the time. No, because Sting's magic is light, but it's more of like a holy attribute. It's more of holy light. It's not like natural light. And that's one of the things, like, why he could bend it. It's not straight up like raw light. And so, even though it's called like a laser, his is more holy magic, not light magic. If it was like a thing like, a light speed dragon, the light speed roars, it's okay. There you go. Then he's light speed, but it doesn't have those properties, so you can't just claim it. It's like a weird process that a lot of people have always gone about, like stuff like that when it comes to internet fight power level stuff. The main character has Gunganir. Oh, that's cool. I might look it up. I like it when characters have different weapons. Like, because obviously Brawler and like normal and like katana is very popular. But like, I liked Asta because he had a great sword and he was a short dude. I like fucking anybody who uses a non-conventional weapon. That's what I like about Aki and Chainsaw Man. I guess Denji's just fucking chainsaws. I don't know why it doesn't say him. But Aki too uses a nail. I like weird. I like weapons that are either weird or just not used too much. Saddest Black Clover moments. I'm gonna do a video on that eventually. The Elf Massacre, yeah. Wizard King, poor Julius. All the elf genocide. My demon dragons were to fight Fairy Tail. Oh, are they gonna fuck with? They would take out the Dragon Slayers and Greg was a demon slayer. Maybe who would fill episodes on all Rex catch up. I'm catching up. I'm almost there. Grimlock to show up in the ball. I hope Grimlock's there. Grimlock's cool. The writing of Boruto animes. Yeah, it's because they do too many stupid stuff. Like, it'll all One Piece in the time it'll take Rex to catch up. Almost caught up. I could read Team Iron Damon Clover all in time for catch up. Oh, nope, I'm almost there. I'm catching up. Most of the filler. Yeah, there's a lot of filler in Boruto. Blake's character arc overall is the main reason I hate towards Adam's death. It's stupid because Adam's character was so interesting. He was a fucking dude who wanted to fight for his people. He became an extreme radical. And you could both understand his reasoning, but you don't agree with him because he's a bad guy. But that's one of the things that makes him likable, as well as like cool design. He's just like a badass. And then he got beat by 2 chicks who, like, not too long ago he trashed both of them, and yet he's lost to both of them. Like, no, I thought that was dumb. I didn't like that. I didn't like how it better not be dead. Like, I feel like they killed him off because they still haven't. It's been fucking. This is gonna be 4 seasons later, 3+ seasons. They haven't brought back Torchwick, so he's probably dead. And he was one of the best characters in the whole series, and only off of 3 seasons. And he was the most charismatic, one of the most fun, interesting, and yet he's gone. Yeah, Periot fucks up a lot of stuff. Remember when Asta is created by Ki? Yeah, Black Asta. He uses the Ki. He uses it to sense the flow of anti-magic, and then he channels it into his body. He's layering the anti-magic over him. That's why Yuno had the idea to absorb spirit magic into his body to create Spirit Dive. Period is good at openings. I mean, I like what they're doing right now with Black Clover. I'm happy with that. They're at least getting back on things. Patri, I don't know if I'd call him a villain. He was more like this brainwashed martyr, because what he was doing, it was like he was doing this like one-man mission to save his people, and yet in the end he got fucked. He found out he was just like this puppet for another person. He got Obito'd. Kinda, but at the same time, you gotta keep in mind that he's an elf, so, like, bad stuff to humans, like, it's only a perspective thing for him, because he's an elf doing good things for elves, whereas, like, good things for elves might be bad for humans, so, it's a weird thing. We just hope they don't brush Patriot's crimes under. I mean, he's definitely gonna have to pay for some stuff. Austin's still pissed at him. I think they're gonna try and figure out some form of compromise. Because they have to keep in mind that he was brainwashed. He was being brainwashed by the fucking word devil. It's not his fault. I mean, it's his fault, but you can't give him 100% of the blame. Or can't force 21's Zawardo. Fucking Sartorius. Almost said Arcadius. Us and Noir are the top of shonen apps this week. Theme is Black Clover. Yeah, I was very happy about that. He tried to kill everyone in the Clover Kingdom and took joy in killing Julius. Yeah, but there's going to be some issues, because obviously they're not going to let him off scot-free, but I think they're going to keep in mind that the Word Devil had hands on that whole thing going down. Tiki opening 1 is one of the best. Oh, Tokyo Ghoul. Yeah, I like Tokyo Ghoul opening 1. See, I'm almost there. Oh my god. Am I almost there? For fuck's sake. No, I am close. Yeah, I already read that. It became, when there's the truth, all with justice. Yeah. Yeah, he was trying to do something good for them, but, like, I feel like it's gonna be brushed, not under the rug. They're gonna weigh in, like, what exactly they think that he should have to pay for and what exactly is not his fault. I think there's still gonna be a level of punishment for him. Yeah, William too. William will definitely have an aspect in this. Yeah. I hope they get back. No, don't hate on William. William's a good guy. Megatron's some of the best motivation to understand. Well, that's a trillion blue flowers, or 100 trillion, whatever the number was. Blue flowers for Megatron. I like William, but Patriot's friendship is what gives him an added dash of depth. He's good. I wanted to see Natsu actually have to train to be a Dragon instead. They have conventional power to beat him. No. So the last one wasn't planned. It was forced. It was forced by Ignan. Natsu didn't even want to. But also, I think it had more to do to build up some stuff for later. Like, Natsu somehow, Mercephobia doesn't have powers anymore. Was that because of Natsu? Was that because of Toka? Was that because of the weird, fucking tablet? I almost said, never mind. Tablet that Elaseria has. Who knows? But also the fact that what's up with Natsu having, traits like his Ethereus form again. I think that was much more supposed to be an opening for a lot of different things to happen, rather than just being a Dragon God fight. Alderaan obviously is going to be different. I doubt he's going to be like, how do I give Natsu the same power up again? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's his own, like, this is awakened inside of me, like, because I still have my theory that his demon powers were still within him. Maybe that was the jump start to get that for him. So now he's going to be slowly honing this. And this could easily be a training arc now. Maybe not like a full arc, but a training section. We don't know. It depends. We're only one in. And, like, they were going to need it after, like, getting revealed that all of them combined couldn't even match, like, were nothing to half power. Like, it was crazy. Who's faster, Kizaru or Lake is faster? Well, the argument that people had is that because of the fact that, so Lick's light directly operates like light. Kizaru's doesn't, but we have seen it when he uses a specific technique that lets him move along mirrors by reflection of light. That has always been considered, yeah, okay. But him in general, the way he moves, like, Lick just uses a spell and then bam, he moves a different location at light speed. Kizaru needs a much more set up pathway, I think. So, yeah. I'd go with, the thing is, Kizaru's light attacks explode. He's definitely light speed, given how fast he is. The thing is, though, is that's why people don't consider it. Because, like, is lasers just cause explosions? They're just cause, like, big, like, anime explosions, pretty much, is, like, where people are saying, like, it doesn't operate the same. I think William, I think he'll be put in prison. We'll see. There'll be an interesting way that this goes down. People are just hating on, fucking, William right now. We'll see. I'm just scrolling past this, reading it. Let's see. Where's the saddest moment? The saddest moment in Attack on Titan is I'm never gonna find out what happened to that goddamn soup. Oh, Pain. Pain's a good guy. Oh, Obito, you say.
The characters use Gungan your weapon as a brawler. That sounds cool. Weapon even is William even has the scars. Catherine Obito. Oh, damn, that boss Obito. I don't understand why Riot didn't tell Patreon and the others the truth about the humans. Still kind of dumb. I mean, he's Riot the or the liar and the untruthful. Like he was bound under. Didn't he say Didn't he say though because of like him getting healed in that moment of having figuring that out that he remembered something, but he also doesn't. He doesn't know who the fuck Sekri is. I actually think it would happen if the current era mechanic the end of series. I don't know. They'd probably like sulk and drink coffee, and like talk about like somber plans. And the voice acting thoughts on Zeke the Beast Titan. I like Zeke. I think he's cool. He gets the shit kicked out of him by Levi every 10 minutes. Bumblebee is trash as far as wait, Bumblebee, lesbian shippers. What are you talking about? Bumblebee. You're talking about Ruby, not Bumblebee the Transformer. I got a Transformer fan in the audience, so I get those two mixed up. Yeah, the annoying lesbian shipping does get annoying. Yeah, I skipped over a lot of stuff of like you guys talking about like William and shit. Ilya? Isn't Ilya the fucking chameleon, the annoying token lesbian who just gets in the way of shit? I think he's gonna. Will probably be a captain. More elves, the treason against kingdom. Yeah, 100 billion blue flowers for every person killed. 100 billion. Off with the golden Dawn's heads. I think we're gonna be. Yeah, I don't think he means Bumblebee from Transformers. So good work. Asta. So I did a video, and I think Asta will be Wizard King. I think will be the king of the Clover Kingdom. I was curious how you picked Ilya specifically. Asta, Wizard King, and Oak. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Maybe Klaus will take over. Leadership. I seriously joined the full lobby at a Black Clover PS4 game, but I was playing left to right with Marilyn. I want to play that again, but I have to get it for the PS4. I guess the PS4 has like normal numbers. Like nobody plays it on the PC, and I bought it for the fucking PC like a fool because I wanted to stream it. Speaking of shipping, remember the cancerous Naruto shippers where they shipped Naruto and Sasuke? That's good. No reason. What do you mean they kissed? They had all the reason to ship that. Starring the Astro Patri right now. I don't think he's starring the Patri. Yami versus Kizaru. Yami would cut Kizaru in half. Naruto totally wanted Sasuke. Oh god. William is Urkoi. What are you going on about? I don't even know what's going on. Zeke has a trauma after fighting Levi. Yeah, Levi beats the shit out of him every time they fight. Side one act Davis Bakugo's breakdown of the hero license arc. Yeah, he shouldn't have fucked up. Yami is a god. I think he's #1 Magic Knight Captain. He's definitely not the strongest, but he's definitely the most popular. Kid that healed himself. Yami, yeah, I already saw that. I did it, I caught up. Fuck you guys. Oh, not fuck you. I was gonna say fuck you specifically to fucking the two people that were making fun of me for being behind, but it just came out as like, fuck everybody! No, just, god damn it. I messed that up, but whatever. You know what I mean. Haha, I finally caught up. I'm not far behind. Dark is not evil with me, and light can't be good. Yeah. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. It's season 2. Yeah, the White Dorm Society of Light. He's from another world. I don't think so. I think dark magic and light magic are just different because they're kind of like that high end and low end. Like if you look at a chart, like light is always like regarded as like the top, and then dark magic is like its primary opposite, like evil bad guy stuff. Yami versus Kizaru. Yeah, I said Yami would kill Kizaru. I think Yami would cut Kizaru in half. And his intangibility wouldn't mean shit because it's goddamn spatial cutting sword. It would just slice right through him. And then just because spatial damage. That's all part of the assumption people always had about like spatial cutting shit is that it beats intangibility because intangibility it has something to do with like the difference between like fucking an element and like cutting space and shit. Crazier stuff, Guilmon is a serious fire type Digimon you'll meet. Yeah, I love Guilmon. Like, so you think that Rex, where did you get the early Raw chapter of 100 Years Quest and where are the other anime series that you do rewatch? I downloaded the app in the Japanese version and then hooked it up to, so I could pay. And then I buy the chapter when it comes out in Japan because it comes out like midnight for them on that Wednesday that it's supposed to play out. So it's like early morning for me.
So, I open it, read it, post a picture to Twitter of seeing the tease, and give a summary. Not show too much because I still want the official release to happen. I still want them to get money. Asta's from a different race. I'm calling it. Now, he might be a dwarf. I feel like he's just human though. How would All Might interact with Yami or Julius? I think he'd like him. I think he definitely like Julius. I think you and Yami could become chums though. The thing about Asta, I want Asta to not be a dwarf, but I want dwarves to think he's a dwarf. I think that'd be really funny. And then you could do some funny stuff with Charmy bringing maybe they want to bring Charmy. But what if Charmy is it's like a long lost heir to the dwarven throne or something ridiculous? I feel like that'd be silly, but it's like a silly serious that's right down Charmy's alley. I'd love that. That'd make me really happy to see in the series. Give something to Charmy like that. Was it? It would definitely do well because Charmy's one of the most popular characters. Julius versus adult Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke would I think they'd overwhelm him. I think they would overwhelm the shit out of Julius. 1v1. 1v1 is a little bit hard because of the fact, time magic is so broken. But I think definitely 2v1, they would beat him 2v1. All Might versus All for One. I mean, the thing about All Might versus All for One is the only thing that really mattered. You got to see two big characters clash, and then you got a really good, out moment for All Might, his character as he, gave up his power. But obviously, if you're going for, fighting choreography and you want to see, a big battle, it doesn't have that. It was much more of, All Might's last moments, which was still good. I could get what people would say, it was boring, though. It was good in the last, 30 seconds. But a lot of it was boring up into it. Whatever, not a big deal. I still enjoyed it. Demon King, Seven Deadly Sins versus Acnology would kill him. Acnology would fucking murder him. Acnology is so much more powerful than anyone in Seven Deadly Sins, it's not even funny. Acnology is ridiculous. Acnology, he's such a gap above everyone else in this series. The only other characters are the Dragon Gods, but that's only if you include normal Acnologia, not space between time-consumed Acnologia. That this dude literally fucking ate space and has soloed the planet twice, or ate time and then soloed a planet twice. This is fucking ridiculous. Oh, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. You don't know what I mean. I hope Finral and Vanessa get together. That'd be a weird combo. Oh, it's on Dr. Stone Act currently in the manga. I don't read the manga currently. I'm way behind on it. What's your favorite character voiced by Vic Mignogna? Mine is Margir. He does a lot of good ones. Also Ikaku from Bleach, top bad. Spirit in Spirit and Soul Eater. Oh, god damn it. It's not light speed. Kizaru's the Kuma lasers aren't regarded as light speed. I explained it kind of with Sting's roar, because it's it can easily be interpreted as light speed. It's never been by a lot of, at least the people that, go about, online battles and stuff. Because the way that rules work, there's always, levels of inflation you can get. And again, I said something, I gave an example of when it'd be, beneficial to push, oh, Natsu in Grand Magic Games was light speed, but I don't agree with it just because of the way it was presented. Similar to, the way that you can't get that excuse for light speed lasers for non-conventional way that light works. The Junpei gives me PTSD after reading Jujutsu Kaisen. Junpei, he got what happened when you play with dangerous people. I think Fire Force might be my favorite anime. It's good. It's a good series. It's fun. I didn't know. Again, Mark Gear, that explains why he sounds so similar. Yeah, Mark Gear. I thought that was a very fun thing to do. I actually have the volume of Fairy Tail with Mark Gear on, I think 48, and I have that signed by Vic Mignogna. I got it when I went to a convention he was at, got his autograph, got on the Mark Gear one. Always pleasant. Mark Gear's my boy. Mark Gear's one of my favorite Fairy Tail characters for sure. Always enjoyed his character. He's just been one of those guys who he was such an entertaining character with such a nice design, such a nice arc, and just all around, I think, improve what was going on a lot of the time. All right. Oh, yeah, the My Hero Academia movie comes out in, I think, December. It's only a couple months away, and there's not even a trailer for it. I got a little salty because,
I I saw the trailer for One Piece Stampede, and like it has the same opening as Film Gold. And it's like there's like an island that they go to, and the island has this long stretch that ships go down, and then there's this wharf where they have like a big entertainment area. And that's the same thing that happened in Film Gold. And then Luffy's gonna fight a dude who makes a giant robot and then fights him. That's the same thing that happened, and that's the same thing. It's like gearing up for this one. I don't know. Shiki versus Aragorn. I probably does wind affected by gravity? I actually have no fucking idea. I feel like yes. But the thing is, I'd give my. I'd say it's. I'd say Shiki. I want to put my money on Shiki because I think that like, obviously the thing that made it a big gap between Natsu and Aragorn's, wind fucking with others' fire, Natsu being able to hit him, but Shiki can just apply direct gravity around him and increase him. DBS Broly. Opinions on Lucia Red Lucia was really good. I liked Lucia. I liked the foil that he had to Haru. You had this dude going down his own kind of like hero's journey. I guess this is more like the villain's journey, which is cool. I heard Boa is in the movie. That's so cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of characters. I like the design they're using for Buggy. I think looks really good in it. It's very entertaining but cool at the same time. Black Clover movie would be cool. And the animation for Stampede definitely looks good, but I'm not really too interested in it. Tenka screams a lot of anger, especially when being controlled by his demon self. Yeah, that's pretty normal for crazy demon shit. I barely can't wait for a new movie to come out too. I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. I thought I had fun. Hancock comes out of the side of Snake Man, probably. Uda better play Lucia or Zareth, because Zareth was gonna fix everything. Lucia wanted to return to the, everything to the original world, but the original world was literally like a big piece of shit, like barren, deserted, like dying world, and like it was like, yeah, cool. You want to like get rid of like this concept of like living a lie, but at the same time, you're just gonna kill everybody. You're gonna return everything to shit. Good job, dude. Thanks. Zareth had like this long, strung out plan to do all these different things, save the world, undo his sins, save his brother, do all these crazy things with his life. Other than that, though, I'm gonna wrap up the stream. It's been a little over it's been about 2.5 hours. I've had a good time talking to you guys. I appreciate the super chat from Larry Jones. Always appreciated any donations you guys give me. Is always like I said, much appreciated. Only taking kindness from my nice subs. But other than that, though, I had a good time talking to you. I'm gonna put out 2 videos tomorrow. Yeah, I'll probably put out a fairy tale video I really want to talk about Toka, as well as my review of this chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen. So look forward to that. That's gonna be awesome. But other than that, talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a good weekend and a good week. Let's hope for some more fun chapters. Fairy Tale on Tuesday, Eden Zero, and Seven Sin Spoilers should be out soon. And anything else that you guys comes your way from manga. I hope you guys have a good time. Other than that, thanks everyone for coming. Bye.